Hypocrisy.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome. Welcome to Lawsplaining the Interwebs. I am your host, Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota. And I was trying to be on time today, but the internet is so gay. I tried to wash the homosexual off of me, and it didn't work. So I put on a plaid shirt, and here I am. Oh my goodness. Well, guys, there's no way around it. There's no way around it. Tonight is a drama show. I'm putting it up front. If you do not want to watch a bunch of gay, spurgy internet drama, don't watch. Leave now. There's no way around it. If you want to catch the latter part of the show, where I talk about my lawsuit update, which is also in a weird way some gay spurgy drama, tune in after the Rumble flip. After the Rumble flip, we're going to be doing a special reading of the Unbreaded, which people have been requesting in their ones. It's not like in hundreds or droves, but at least ones of people have been requested the Unbreaded to come back. So we are going to have a special reading of the Unbreaded tonight, which is, before you motherfuckers say anything on this, that is literally coincidence. I announced the reading of the Unbreaded last night before all of this internet shit came up, okay? That has nothing to do with the stupid drama. I know someone's going to say it does because you are assholes. But it's true. It's true. So anyway, we got to cover the drama. Look, I know everybody's always like, well, Nick, if you hate drama, why do you keep ending up in it? It's like, I don't know, because people keep asking me questions, and then other people keep taking my answers and being frustrated with them, and then they call me out personally. I don't know. I want this stupid ISOM drama to end. I wanted it to end months ago. But you have an unstoppable force and an immovable object meeting. I don't know if that's ever accurate, but you have that happening, and you've got two hard-headed dudes, right, clashing. It's like they're trying to dock, but they're both circumcised, so it just doesn't work. I'm going to explain it in the shortest terms possible. I can't go through all of it, but we're going to have video and shit on this. I don't think he's alive right now, but I did invite Andrew Branca on for just a little bit. If he has the time to come on, if he's able to grace us with his glorious no-tie presence, I just want his expertise on defensive property in Texas. And we have the video for a very specific breakdown, an objective breakdown from someone who doesn't give a shit about any of this, because people are saying that my read of, like, I don't understand Texas law because I'm in a duty to retreat state. And Branca has disagreed with me in the past about defense of self and defense of property in Texas, specifically on the Chad Reed, Kyle Kareth case. If you guys remember, that's the guy who went up on the guy's porch and threw him off the porch, and then blam, 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 right as he lands, and puts the guy down. So we have gone over this. We have disagreed very publicly on this type of issue. People who say that I don't understand or don't know about Texas self-defense law, like, that is a reasonable assumption. I'm a Minnesota lawyer, but I will humbly suggest that those people may not be familiar with the amount of commentary that I have done on, stand your ground states, on castle doctrine cases, on self-defense cases, on defensive property cases, the amount of trials I've watched, the differences I've talked about in all of these different states. It is an area of law that I would not claim to be an expert in. I don't claim to be an expert in any area of law except for the law of the streets and catching these hands. But I do profess a basic proficiency in reading law, in researching court decisions behind the law, and commenting on some of these issues. This happens to be one that I have commented on in the past with some level of acumen, and always balanced by someone with more expertise than me. Again, that would be Andrew Branca. And while we disagreed on that case, I ended up being the correct party, but importantly, not because of the legal merits. The legal merits were never tested in that case. I suggested that I thought the social climate of Amarillo, Texas, I think it was Amarillo, not, no, that was the Tiger Swing. The social Texas of the Kyle Karras, Chad Reed case would be that the community would, and by extension, the grand jury would not engage in charging him with a crime, because I thought it was close enough that a jury of people looking at it who are not experts on the law would not look to those legal nuances. They would go to the cultural thing of, if I'm on my porch telling someone to leave my property because they're screaming at one of my employees, and they walk up onto my porch, grab my gun and throw me off the porch, and I shoot them, I don't want to go to prison forever. That was my thought. It was that regardless of the legal realities and nuances, that the people would not want that charged because they would want the freedom to defend themselves there. So while I will always gloat and claim victory over Andrew Branca in an epic self-defense battle, it's importantly and knowingly not on the legal merits. Again, those were not tested. I do think that in a jury trial, he still would have prevailed. I want to be clear. I do think that, but it's much for the same reasons and why I thought he wouldn't be charged in the first place. I thought the community sentiment and the jurors would think, if this happened to me, I'd want to shoot the guy too. And that's part of why juries are important and why juries are generally localized, right? You want people in some level of circumstance near you to be assessing whether you should be guilty of a crime, or whether a crime is justly charged, or whether a law is justly written. We've talked about jury nullification and all that stuff. But if we get Andrew Branca on for a little bit, we'll happily get his take. I will respect his time, get him in, get him out. Just like he was paying me $100 for an hour, but I was only going to give him 5 minutes. And then we'll move on from that. But we are going to engage the drama tonight. Look, if I get called out by name by a colleague, I don't know what word to use anymore on any of this shit. By a mutual internet homosexual, if I get called out, and that's including me, by the way, I'm not insulting anybody. Being gay is fine in 2023. If I get called out by name by someone that runs in my circle, and they're saying some stuff about me, then I'm obviously going to respond. I'm going to do that. So we're going to talk drama. Then after the drama, Unbreaded special reading, that'll be right after the Rumble flip. And then hopefully we will have time, which we should. The Unbreaded reading shouldn't take super long. But we'll get an update on where my appeal is. There was, to be clear, our appeal memorandum has not been filed yet. It's not at the deadline yet. There's a procedural aspect of this because of how we're doing this appeal. It's called an interlocutory appeal. Interlocutory appeals occur when there is an issue that should be resolved prior to the ending of the suit. It should be resolved now. And typically, that issue cannot be determinative of the outcome of the suit, right? On appeal, if we win, we don't necessarily win the case. I mean, it would stand to reason that we would, by extension, win the case, but not on the merits. We would win on the legal procedure of getting Colorado's anti-SLAPP law applied, and then, getting Colorado law to be applied, and then the anti-SLAPP itself to be assessed in the context of Colorado law. The judges, the appellate court has requested memoranda from each of the parties on whether or not this basically qualifies for an interlocutory appeal. They will then determine whether it can be done in an interlocutory manner. If it can, the appeals court will take jurisdiction, and then the appeal will commence. If it cannot, the appeals court will send it back to the lower court, and we will go on. So that's where it's at. We'll talk about what that is and what the law behind it is. Of course, I think it qualifies for an interlocutory appeal for all of the legal reasons that we'll discuss as we go through it. Some people have been asking, like, why aren't you covering the update in your appeal or in your case? And frankly, I had not checked my email, so I didn't know that it had actually occurred. But it was filed, I believe, on the 25th or the 26th. With that. So I was just unaware. Still, we're very busy with life and getting these kids into all their activities and trying to remember that we're a married couple that gets to spend a few minutes of time with each other. And I just didn't really care what was going on with that. So I wasn't aware that the email came in, but I've seen it now. I skimmed the document. I get the legal impressions, and we'll probably get to that later. But again, fair warning to everyone watching. A whole bunch of people are like, I don't like drama shows. Drama shows are gay. I agree with you. But it's going to be done tonight. And so I'm telling people in advance, GTFO, if you don't want to hear about this drama, if you don't care about it, I am with you and would not watch. I would not watch this at all. I wouldn't be watching any of this if it wasn't calling me out directly. And that's when you got to fucking deal with shit. So we are going to talk about the drama very briefly as an intro. We'll play some video and talk. And then we're going to do this the professional way. We're going to do this the professional way. I'm going to put it down on the table in regards to Texas defensive property law, because there really are two different aspects of should someone do something. There's the legal aspect, in which I will clearly say that I do not believe what Riley did was illegal. And I think people suggesting that Riley showing up, putting basically stickers with some money, $50, if I'm not mistaken, on the window of the Rippaverse warehouse is not illegal. And we'll go through the Texas law about trespass, about vandalism, which actually has a different name in Texas, and all of that stuff. And we can look at everything. And if I can, I will show you the Rippaverse property without releasing the address. Though it is publicly findable, I was able to find it very easily. I understand that Eric does not seem to want that to be public at all. And so I have no desire to make that public. So if I can show you a street view picture, and I think I saw a screenshot of it, or I think I saw someone had posted a picture of it. If we can do that, we will. But I want to show you, there have been some claims that this is a private business that is not available to the public or not open to the public. Under Texas law, that is not true. People, I'm not going to ascribe ill intent. I'm not going to ascribe intentional dishonesty to anybody. But Texas law on trespass is pretty clear. And now, if there's some gate around the property that's not pictured in any of the available stuff, I mean, I'd be surprised, I guess, but that is entirely possible. I'm not aware of any no trespassing signs or anything like that. I'm also pretty aware, and I think it's been talked about by both sides, that Riley went to another adjacent business, I believe in the same building, in the same parking lot, which would mean that, again, he would have a legal right to be in that parking lot. But that's a whole separate issue. So then we'll get into, there have been some fantasies online on Twitter, typically by fans. And this happens a lot. And I don't ascribe the actions of fans to creators. Okay. I don't do that. Fans do what fans do. People will always accuse creators of asking their fans to do stuff. I almost never see that shit unless it's positive. Hey, go like this thing, share this thing, support this thing. And I will never, ever accuse someone of asking fans to do anything unless I've seen it directly. I've not seen Eric ask anybody to do anything negative. I want to be very fucking clear on this. Fans have posted some fantasies about using self-defense against Riley, and we're talking about using lethal force in self-defense. Anyone who thinks that that's a real thing is deluding themselves in this scenario. But I'm just seeing that Rippa's in the chat, and he would like the link. Here we go. Eric said on stream earlier a true statement that I am going to repeat now. I want to be very clear on this again. Eric stated that I had not reached out to contact him since all this started. Correct. Very true. I actually addressed this a couple weeks ago, I think, when he had first made the video, and the How I'm Feeling video, which we reviewed the part that was relevant to me, and I expressed my opinions on that. I stand by all of them. And I did express that because he mentioned a thing, and I wanted to be very clear on this. He mentioned that I don't know exactly how he worded it, so forgive me if my paraphrase is a little bit off, but he basically said, I don't want people out here saying one thing in public and then contacting me saying, hey, are we cool or whatever. And I made it clear that I had not direct messaged Eric at all on this. I was thinking about inviting him onto the show, but I saw his video where he said he did not want to get on and talk about the legal issues. When people come on my show, a lot of people ask him questions about the legal issues. So I said, and I believe I tweeted, if I did not, I apologize, but I believe I tweeted also that I had not invited Eric on specifically because I did not want to compromise his legal issues in any way. I didn't want to discuss them. However, in both of those statements, I said he was welcome to contact me to come on the show, but I didn't want to put any pressure on him because he had said that. And look, I'm not out trying to stir shit. As I've stated, I want this gay drama to die. I hate it. It's bad for everybody's business. I think, maybe not. And I don't like it. I don't like talking about it or being dragged into it. But with that, Eric's in the chat. He's requested the link. Of course, I'm going to allow him to come on the show and say his piece. I think that you all will, because I think most of you guys love him. I will ask him to be, or I will ask the chat, please be courteous to my guest. Because I do think Eric is a good dude. And I think he's misunderstood me a little bit on this, and I get it. And I have no idea how this is going to go. But again, he's going to be a guest on the show. Please be courteous to him. And this ought to be exciting. Eric, I sent it to you on Twitter. So whenever you want to pop on in, you can pop on in. And then maybe we don't need to have videos at all. Maybe we'll just do this face to face, which is probably for the best. While we wait, Oozed Cucumber Balls says, hey, Nick, can I get a super late cheers for publishing my first book, Another Tower Story, on Amazon? Yeah, I don't have any liquor poured yet. Give me a second. This will also be good because, you know, I can only kind of interpret what I see and hear from someone. So this will allow me to clarify any questions I have for Eric on some of these issues, and we can work it out. Like, in, you know, we can talk instead of talk at, we can talk to. Cheers to you, Ooze Cucumber Balls. cheers to you for publishing your first book. Guys, go check out Another Tower Story on Amazon. If it's up your alley, maybe give it a read, give it a purchase. I don't know. I can't vouch for it, but maybe you can. Cheers to you, brother or sister. I hope you have tons of success. All right. I don't know if he has not seen my message yet. I do have his number, I think, here. So I'll also text him the link. And here we go. Let me get that. Here we go. There's Eric. Copy link. Also texting it to him. Oh shit. Oh, there he is. Never mind. I don't need to. Here he is. Eric, I'm bringing you in. You already give me a thumbs up? All right. Hey man, what's shaking?
What's up? What's up, man? What's up?
Too much drama, man. Too much drama. And I think there's a lot of misunderstanding going on. But look, let's just be out with it, be fully frank. I'm good with that. I wanna bury all this shit because I hate this stuff. So what you got for me, man?
Oh no, I figured that instead of like, talking around it and talking at audience and all that good stuff, I figure that why not talk directly? Definitely if I'm saying something about you or you saying something about me, I figure why not talk directly. I've been with you on that. I think this whole kind of ordeal is gay and should be ended. However, I think in order for that to kind of be on the table, if that's something that we both want, you remember I told you this initially, we need to be honest about it and let's not act like this is one of those, hey, this is this guy versus that guy thing. That's not what this is. I didn't start this.
You definitely did not.
Had nothing to do with any of that. But yeah, it's reached kind of a level that is, it's gay. I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, and to be very clear, I don't know if you heard or saw, or maybe you did and you didn't think it was genuine, and I don't know. But I did say that, Riley going to your place of business, while I don't think it was illegal, and we may have some disagreements over that, and there may be details that I can't see in regards to the property, but from what I've seen, I don't think it's illegal. But I did say, bad move. He shouldn't do it. Given the tension, I think it's a really, really bad play. I don't like people doing that shit. I wouldn't want them doing it to me either. I get it. So that was a thing I said last night when it was brought up to me. I wasn't aware of it until someone super chatted and I had to like look in, I might've seen it or something, but someone super chatted and I addressed it right then in my last stream. So I do not think he should have gone to your place of business at all. But at the same time, like if people ask me about legalities, specifically self-defense, like I'm going to give them my legal opinion. That's still true. And I think right before we got, or that I saw that you were in chat, I was saying that there are two practicalities, right? There's what you can legally do, and then there's what you should and shouldn't do. And I think what Riley did is something you shouldn't do. So I want to be very clear on that.
And I'm cool with that. There is a point of contention there. I'm obviously not a lawyer, but I'm at least familiar enough with it, certainly with our team, as well as what's actually happening on it. Again, my issue with it is less legal versus illegal anyway. But again, I do question that whole legality aspect of it all because, I make the argument, and certainly everybody here is making the argument that for sure, definitely considering at nighttime, that is criminal mischief, right? Definitely because he's writing on stuff and he's putting notes up and all that good stuff. And in Texas, if you don't know, you can, by the way, and this is not anything that I'm advocating, right? I want to be very clear about that. But, definitely because we're talking about the legality of deadly force and all that good stuff in Texas, you're committing a criminal mischief at night, you absolutely have the right. It's right there in Section 9 of the Texas Penal Code. And, you can read it verbatim. It specifically addresses you being able to use deadly force for someone committing criminal mischief at night on your property. So, but however, that aside, because that was never really on the table, the argument about that, I don't know if you're more so hearing that from be it our audiences or something of that nature as far as deadly force. The only argument that I've made is that it is irrational for someone that does not want to be there. that people don't want to be there, right? And there is more information on that for someone to come there, right? Definitely with us having armed guards there and, committing any sort of weird stuff. That's just not rational for anybody, especially people that, considering that I'm not there and, you're dealing with other people and their individual livelihoods because look, you might think it's a joke and it's all good and all fun and games, Nick, but for us,
I clearly stated I don't think that it was a good thing to do.
Right. And I just wanted to be clear that I definitely as a business owner cannot afford to treat it as if it's just, hey, it's something that's a joke and it's just jokes, bro. Definitely considering that again, I'm not ever there, and that is a building that other people don't like weird folks doing weird stuff, be it to the building because nobody knows if it's going to escalate to anything else. And I don't know these cats, but that's not something that I would take lightly either way it goes. So legality aside, that is something that I think is just weird and kind of off the wall.
Yeah, of course. And obviously the law doesn't matter if you got a hole in you, right? Like it doesn't matter for that guy. That guy's dead. He's done. And people who do that, again, Alex Stein does that shit. I'm not a big fan of that. I like when he goes to the public meetings. I think that's funny. But when you go into other people's businesses and into other people's lives, I mean, you are taking risk, legal, not legal. No bones about that. But I gotta, but one, I'll affirm what you said. Texas does have a use of deadly force in defense of property against criminal mischief only at night. I'm unclear. Did he show up at night or during the day?
Because he showed that whole deal where he left the markings and all the drawings and stuff on it. That was at night.
That's at night. Like what time of night? What time?
That was like roughly. I'm not exactly. It was around like 11 something like that. It was well within the night. The sun was completely down.
Yeah, it's like pretty. Well, the video is well lit. I don't know where the light's coming from.
Well, no, not when he stuck that. I mean, maybe it was well lit in terms of the light, but it was clearly at night when he did it. There was he didn't. The only thing that he did was kind of weird. He kind of drove in and he backed up and he drove past it during the day and took a picture. But other than that, that was it. He never did anything like that during the day. That was at night. There was nobody there.
Sure. And I don't know. So I'm taking your word at it, full faith. Like I have no problem accepting that it was at night. I wanted to clarify from someone who knew, because like I said, from the video, it's never clear how lighting shit plays out. So with that said though, the funny part about law is like, there are disagreements over stuff that many people find obvious. And I got to take one issue with you just on the criminal mischief, which is what Texas calls vandalism. Criminal mischief almost always requires some level of damage or burden on someone. So I think you're running a real risk with suggesting that stickers on a window is going to come out to be criminal
According
mischief.
to the penal code, though, it specifically says markings include inscriptions, slogans, and drawings. That's all it says. So whether it's damage, if you're talking about damage, yes, that's included. If you can break the window and do all that good stuff, obviously that is completely obvious. And, I'm willing to accept a disagreement, but certainly our guys on that side don't see it that way. And to be honest, I think that's what matters. However, and it's not like,
again, it's not what matters though, because what matters is what a prosecutor sees, right?
Exactly.
And how the law is played out. And so I'm gonna offer a mild rebuttal and simply say that inscriptions, markings, and stuff like that is referring to graffiti, to marker, to something that's actually applied to the property that would take some sort of effort to remove. And if you read a little farther into the statute, you'll actually see them explain that there has to be some sort of pecuniary loss or economic burden in either the damage to the property or the removal from the property. And mere incidental annoyances and removing something like a sticker doesn't usually measure up. Now, of course, there are some stickers, right? That a huge sticker that you slap on, you got to hire someone to like use solvents and shit to remove it. These look like relatively small stickers that would pop off without any effort. I think you'd be on real shaky ground. Not you, sorry, you weren't there, but anyone would be on real shaky ground trying to justify putting a hole in someone over those stickers, or even suggesting that a prosecutor would, or a cop even would write an infractionary ticket on this misdemeanor offense. Like, there's no way, man. It's not spray paint.
Well, again, it's not necessarily we see it that way. Definitely considering that, there were drawings that were actually there, and there's some weird stuff that was read on it. And, I'm not going to sit up here, wrote on it. I'm not going to sit here and repeat it. by any means. But I see that, that being your sort of position, and that it's always been the case, or you feel like that's generally the case of being to justify putting a hole or attempting to put a hole in someone. Our guys don't see it that way, and I've seen people get aired out for a lot less. However, I don't even think
I would highly suggest an alternative opinion on council if you think a sticker with a $20 bill under it justifies. If that's their legal
advice,
not
the argument though. That's where I think the gaslighting is, though, Nick,
opinion.
because that's not the position. The position isn't that, okay, I'm trying to make the argument that to justify putting a hole in someone. What I'm talking about, and what the only argument it is that I'm making in this regards, because again, shooting someone over a sticker, that would be silly. Though it wasn't simply that. I think it's being kind of disingenuous to even just kind of classify it as, oh, this guy just merely, just being funny, just put a couple of stickers up that was, they just threw on there, and like that, there was nothing being said or no drawings or any of that had anything
that could change
to do
the
with
equation. I don't know what was there a threat of violence?
Well, yeah, of course there's been actionable threats, and my argument, but even that
the threat,
the reason the guy was there was because of that. He's recorded himself on video saying that, well, this is supposedly an actionable threat. Whether the argument is that we think
Riley's retarded. His legal opinions are irrelevant.
Well, no, I'm saying that's what. All right. So my position is someone, first of all, is stalking for someone to drive across the country to appear at a business that, again, isn't public. And when I say it's not public, Ricada, I'm not saying that someone can't access it. That's not the argument it is that I'm making. I'm saying that this is not something that there's no commerce happening there, right? In that specific building that we are at. The only way that you can get in, there are two ways that you can get in. There's a gate, there's a private gate that you can get in that way, or you can drive. There is a road where you can kind of drive in, but that does not face, it's not a road.
You can drive into a driveway into the parking lot, right?
Yeah, you can drive into a driveway into the parking lot, and that's why our stuff is strategic.
Is there a gate on that driveway into the parking lot?
No. There's not into that parking lot. No, there's no gate. The gate is around on the other side, which is the only other way to access it. However, where we're at, you cannot drive. There's no place to go going that direction towards our building. That will then, you can't. There's no reason to be over there other than, let's say, again, you're coming to see us, you're invited or something of that nature. There's no drive-through. Like, our building is sectioned that way, the way that it is. It's us, and that's it. That gate that is there, and that's it. You cannot drive through our building to get, or our side of that building to get somewhere else. That's not how the design of it is. Is there a gate
blocking off that side of the building?
Yes, correct. On that side, there absolutely is a gate blocking both sides, actually, because on the end of that street, or not a street, I guess that road, whatever you want to call it, it is the parking lot, right, if you will. There are two gates on either side. This is why he drove through, had to turn around to get out, because that's the only way that you can get in or out on that particular side. So again,
clarify, please. Sorry, you said at first that there was a gate on one side, but the other side didn't have a gate, and there was a driveway from the road into it.
Correct. That side is still the same, but you have to see it, is what it is that I'm saying.
You have a picture?
The other, I'm certainly not showing it online. I do have one for sure. And I'm sure.
Can you privately send it to me? I won't pull it up. Can you message it to me?
I guess, yeah. But I'm gonna explain how it is that it is. Yes, sure. Nick, you can get to it from the road, and there's no gate there. What I'm saying is the only other way to get in is a gate on the opposite side. So, for example, our building is at the end of this lot, if you want to call it that. You can get out during that lot, but there are two gates on both sides, right? That's the only way you can get in, and the only way you can get out without driving through the side that the idiot came from, right?
But
that's what I'm saying.
I know, but this is so confusing, because now you're saying there's gates on either side.
Yes.
But then you're saying that he drove through another side and got in.
So look at it like three sides, because there's nothing but fencing on the other, on one side, right? So you have a fence. Look at it like this, like you got a fence, right? And then on opposite sides of that fence, right, is our building, right? You can get out. So get on the street, do whatever you need to do. There are two sides. If you went left or if you went right, there are gates on both sides. There is only one way, if you're not entering through that gate, to get into where our building is. Not everybody else's building. To get into where our building is, there's only one way to get in, not using those two gates.
So there's a way to get in without using the gate.
Correct.
Okay, but Yeah, like you see the issue
Right.
there, right? That there is a publicly accessible way in without a gate.
Issue as far as what?
Well, I mean, okay, so you can have, if you have 3 entrances and 2 gates, and one of them is just an ungated entrance to a public road, that's not fenced in. That's not gated.
Not from that side. It's not. No.
Yeah, no.
But I'm saying,
what do
you mean? Like, what do you mean as far as with the issue? I'm not understanding what it is you're meaning there.
Well, if you can drive in from a public road, I'm having trouble seeing it as private. Is all. That's
all right. So now it's more of a I guess semantics, or you want to argue illegal. I'm not saying
trying
that
to understand, man.
I'm not making the argument that you can't get there. Like anybody can't just drive up into there, let's say, to get to our building. That's not the argument I'm making. The only position it is that I have is that our building, as far as accessing it and being in there, like anywhere near there, the only reason why someone would need to be there is if they were invited there.
Or if they just drove into the driveway.
You just drove into. When I'm talking about
but you don't need an invitation to drive into the driveway, right?
Like, no, you don't need an invitation to drive into the driveway. What I'm saying is there's no reason for someone to be there. I think there's been some confusion because some people maybe saw like a logo on the side or something. They thought it was a storefront that was facing the store. It's not.
Oh no, I don't think it's a storefront.
Well, I'm just making the case. But that's what I mean, and that's the point of contention. Nick, when I'm saying like, hey, it's not this guy showed up to a place that is a private location. It's not our public address. There's no reason for there to be commerce or anything as far as us doing business with other people. There's no, like, you can't even get into our actual building without, either keypad access or what have you. That's the only way you can get inside our actual building.
Did he go in the building?
No, he didn't go in it.
Okay,
he wouldn't have been able to get in there. Yeah.
On the open side that he would have had to drive through to get in, because obviously he doesn't have the gate key. And you said, I think you said he drove in from that open side, right? Right. Is there like a sign that says no access or private property or anything like that? No trespassing? Is there any clear posting that would indicate to someone they can't come in there?
No.
Okay, you're on real shaky ground saying it's private then, man. Like legally.
Right. Again, you're using private in a context that I'm not using it in. So I'm okay with you using it legally.
Mine's the legal context because I'm answering legal questions. That's all.
Correct. And I totally empathize with that and what it is you're saying. That has absolutely nothing to do with the argument it is that I'm making.
Okay, cool. That's fine.
That I have. I've never obviously, he was there. No shit. You can get there by just driving up in there. That's never been the point of contention by anybody here.
Okay.
The only argument that we're making when we're talking about public versus private is that it's not a storefront. There's no reason for anybody to be over there. We don't have that as our public address. There's no reason for anybody to be. That's the only position it is that we have on that.
So when you say there's no reason to be there, I'm just curious, like, and don't take this the wrong way because I'm trying to understand. What's the relevance of that?
The relevance of that, because there was no reason for him to be there.
Right, but like, do you need a reason to be somewhere in the U.S.?
Say what?
Do you need a reason to be somewhere in the United States?
As far as what?
I don't know.
Well, the guy went there. All right, so
I sat in a parking lot the other day. I didn't have a reason. I just needed a place to park.
Okay.
I know he's there. I know he's there to visit your business.
Well, that's the only point it is that I'm making. A psychopath showed up, and he was not invited there. That's the point it is that I'm making.
Is Riley? I mean, Riley's dumb, but is he a psychopath?
Yeah, something like it. I like to think he's a crazy son of a bitch for sure.
Are you scared of Riley?
No, but I cannot not take that serious, considering that he showed up to a place of business that I'm not there, and I have employees. Nick, surely you can empathize with that, right?
Again, I said I wouldn't want him to do it to me.
Let me finish real quick. Somebody sees a fat, stinky person, doing whatever gay shit outside of a building, right? And we know that the person drove across the fucking nation, right, to do this weird shit, and he's dicking around out front, and he's online high side and saying that he's gonna keep doing it. Surely you can at least admit that is some weird shit, and that is a cause for concern for people, for security reasons that are there, especially other folks that work there, because we can't take the guy's word for it that it's just a joke. That's you can at least understand that, correct?
That's been my position the whole time. What he did was dumb.
Okay. Yeah. What he did was dumb. And that's what it is that I'm saying, as far as me being scared or me fearing for that has nothing to do with anything. I wasn't even there, and I'm not there. Right. But other people are. And we can't sit up here and I can't afford to just be like, and nor can our security team afford to just be like, yeah, it's just a guy just dicking around. Like, we can't afford to do that. It's, forgive me, I don't really trust him that's all that he'd leave it at, is just hot-siding on the internet and taking pictures and stuff.
I'm not saying you need to take his word on it. I'm just trying to get in the mindset here. So you say that you have to take it seriously. What do you mean by that? Like, what does that entail?
Just that. Like, we have to take it seriously. Like, I can't just sit up here and approach it as if it's just some guy that's joking, right? I have no idea if he's going to come back, do some other gay shit, escalate that because he is bad shit. I have no idea. And it would be ill-advised, for lack of better terms, for us to pretend like nothing could come from that. Definitely considering that the guy is at least crazy enough to drive all the way over here to appear at an address that he had no business being there.
Where did he drive from?
I have no idea. He's not from here.
Well, you keep saying across the country, so I don't know. Like,
yeah, well, he's not from here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he drove specifically from where he left to you to do this? Like that?
Correct. Yes.
Did you have any other purpose in driving across the country? Like,
I like to think not.
Well, you think not, or do you know?
I don't know.
Like, what if he was going somewhere else, like, and
just
stopped there on the way?
Just stop by. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that it's not, even though he said that he was going to end up doing that, Nick, he just up and did it, and he would just happen to be in town.
Okay, but again, like, there's a lot of ascriptions that happen, and I'm trying to just get the story from it. Like, look, dude,
all right. So here's the story. The story is the guy is some weird shit, injected himself into into this goofy shit, and he went to our place, that a business that he had no business being at, and he showed up doing weird shit. And yes, that's going to be a cause of concern for the people that are there. And no, I'm not going to take it lightly. I can't afford to, because in the event that, let me say this, because in the event that it does escalate, I'm the one that has to deal with that.
Yeah. And so now I'm trying to get to the next step. So you said you got to take it serious. I agree. Did anybody ask him to leave?
Say what? Did
anybody ask him to leave the property?
Not to my knowledge. He never spoke to anybody here.
Did anybody call the police?
Well, I'm sure they did after the fact. Our security team, we had to, as a CYA.
Well, you're sure they did, or
no? I'm positive they did. Yeah.
So okay.
Yes, they had to, as a CYA. You could surely understand that, Nick.
I mean, I don't know that they had to. There's no legal requirement.
I'm saying that you understand why, as a CYA, you gotta call the law boys.
I understand it would be reasonable. Did the police follow up? Is there an incident report?
Yes, correct. Yes.
Cool. Like, that's a good thing. I'm glad.
No, it is. Again, that's as a CYA. I have to do that. I have to do that. And surely you understand that.
Yeah, of course. So, are the police going to pursue a trespass against him?
Oh, we'll see about that.
We'll see. They didn't indicate anything to you?
No, they have, but we'll see. Let them do their thing. Obviously, you understand why I wouldn't want to talk about all of that.
No, but that's fine.
Okay.
Like, I'm not.
That's fine.
I don't determine what people should and shouldn't do. So, like, I'm not.
Okay. Well, just in case some shit hits the fan, I'm good on that. But yeah, they obviously are aware of it. They have to be.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not trying to say anything either way. I just, like, again, I don't put words in people's mouths. I just don't do it. So, okay. So they call the police. Riley's gone before police show up. Did the police show up, or did they just talk on the phone?
No, they went there. They went to the building. Yeah. Those security guys were all there. Yeah.
Okay. Again, I don't know this, so I'm just asking for clarity because it's not online. So, or I haven't seen it if it is. But so then the next question though is, you mentioned like some writings and stuff like that, and you said actionable threat, and you've used a couple things, and this is a frustrating part about talking law, because you've said a couple things that are terms of art in law that have specific definitions and specifically.
Okay. All right. So I'll go ahead and clarify what it exactly is that I mean.
Yeah. Thank you.
The weirdo has made it abundantly clear that he absolutely plans to continue to appear right wherever I'm at. And yeah, he's talked about this old gay shit of trying to shave someone's body and all that other gay shit, which is, again, that's fucking weird. But nonetheless,
do you think he's going to shave you?
Do I? Huh?
Do you think he's going to
I don't
shame
know
you?
what
Like,
the guy would attempt to do. I would hope like hell nobody would come up to me with a fucking razor because I'm gonna have to act accordingly. That'd be
well,
fucking
that's
goofy.
stupid,
Yeah,
right?
that'd be
Like that.
stupid. But you just admitted that he's a fucking idiot earlier. So
Yeah, no.
yeah. All right. So yeah,
100%.
we can't pull it past him that he would try to actually do some old stupid shit like that.
But okay,
As gay
so
as it might be.
again, clarifying, because I'm just trying to have all the facts here. So the threats have entailed showing up where you are and presumably in public places. Like, for example,
Well,
if you're going to go to a convention, he'd show up at a
well,
convention or something
that
like
I
that.
don't know. That I don't. Well, I don't know exactly all of where because obviously the line that he's willing to cross is going to a place where we have my employees. So maybe he would show up to me somewhere else or something of that nature. But really, that's not the issue. I can handle myself and I can protect myself if some weirdo wanted to run up on me. In fact, I invite that if there was a conversation that someone wanted to have. Definitely in the public sphere. I'm all for that. Like if I'm at a con, you want to have a discussion with me, that's fine. Don't show up to my house and do not show up to a place of like that I got employees. That's the only, I feel like that's a reasonable thing, a reasonable ask.
So you're okay with people coming up to you randomly in public, but not coming up to a place of business?
Correct. Yeah, because that's dealing with other people that aren't me.
I mean, but did he deal with anybody that wasn't you?
Well, I have people that work there. Right.
Did he deal with it? You said no one spoke to him.
Right. Well, what it is that I'm saying is that he's appearing at a place that I have other people work at, Nick. So whether he
hear
did
you.
yeah, that's the only point it is that I'm making. So don't come to my house. Don't come to a place of business. That's the only position it is that I have. If you want to have a discussion, whatever it is, just don't do any weird shit. I have to act accordingly if it's any weird shit. But yeah, coming to like a place where I got employees and all that, I feel like that's certainly drawing the line. You have no business being over there.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So getting back to it, the question is, the threats are showing up in public, which you now say you invite. So that can't be a threat then, right?
Yeah. Say what?
Showing up in public, like where you are, you said you're okay with that.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay with that. I don't know what it is that he wouldn't do, but I would still act accordingly. Make no mistake. Like I have no idea to what all of that means, right? So, for anybody that I don't trust, I'm cautious and I'm wary. I'm aware of my surroundings. If it was cordial, all right, bet that. But if I got any sniff that it was anything but that, then I have to of course act accordingly. But that's not what it is that we're dealing with. We don't even need to be speaking in hypothetical situations in that regards. At minimum, the guy's willing to, and he has, because he actually has. It's not that he's willing to show at a place that I have employees and stuff working in. That goes for anybody uninvited that they don't want there. That you can't do that.
So you have lawyers that you talk to about this situation. Like that's when you're saying our guys, you're talking about a legal team, right?
Yes.
Have they advised you to I don't say what they've advised you to do. If they have not advised you to put up privacy signs on the open road that you can go into the parking lot with, like, again, you may need some counsel on some of this stuff that is.
That's not the point of contention, man. Like him, look, I'm not oblivious to the fact that no matter where it is that I'm out, that also appears to my, applies to my house. Someone somewhere at some point is going to figure out where our various locations are at. So, and how to get to them if they actually want to. That doesn't matter who it is that you are. That's not the issue. The issue isn't simply that, a guy knew it where it was that we were at. It's the problem is that someone's willing to go out of their way to, whether it be for a long-standing gag or whatever it is, showing up at a place that I have other people working and employees. And again, I can't treat that like he wouldn't do anything else. That's just weird. That's just
which is why
weird.
I'm suggesting that you should talk to your counsel about the reasonable aspect of putting up signs indicating it's not publicly accessible.
Well, which we can do that, but that's not really the point. That's not the point of contention here. That's not that was never anything that was argued at any point.
Probably will be on that trespass. Like for the cops, like it probably will be a point on the trespass.
Well, again,
like if I was his lawyer, I would say,
right, okay, yeah.
There's a publicly accessible road and an open driveway that you can drive into.
That's not all the issue it is that I have here, Nick. The issue is not that he was able to even get over there. That's not the point of contention by any means. So while I understand what it is that you're saying, as far as, yeah, I would advise you to do all this and that, all that has been taken care of, but that's not the thing that I take exception to. Yeah, of course, man. People can get to a warehouse or wherever it is that you're at. Again, that can also apply. That can apply to my house. You know what I mean? People eventually will find
Well,
where
no,
to be and all other stuff. But that's not what it is that I'm contending. I'm contending no matter if you know where it is or not. I feel like I'm at least owed the courtesy of someone not showing up uninvited to do kind of weird stuff. It definitely, once you made it abundantly clear that you don't really got it all upstairs.
and I agree with you, but you just said it's the same as your house. It's actually not the same as your house.
All right. In the sense of what it is that I'm saying, Nick, I get that
I'm trying to help you make it the same as your house.
Nick, I get that a house and a business is different. You don't have to legally explain it to me. I understand that.
You're taking this the wrong way, man. You're thinking I'm trying to tell you that you're in the wrong, and I'm trying to tell you.
No, I'm not saying that you're trying to tell me I'm in the wrong, Nick. All I'm saying is what I'm referring to when I say that it doesn't matter. And the point of contention it is that I have with why I take exception to it has absolutely nothing to do with whether or not it is my house, whether or not it is building A, B, or C it is that we have. You surely understand it. I'm not foolish enough to think that there's not a difference between my business and a house. I know there very well is. I know that even from a legal perspective, there can be some differentiation there. I am totally aware of that, but that's not the point of contention. That's not what it is that I'm saying.
All right, I'm trying to help, but that's fine.
And I appreciate that. I appreciate you trying to help, Nick.
Okay, so are there any other threats? So the one threat I've heard is that he was going to hold you down, shave your arms, which I think is ridiculous, but you have no reason to believe, and I have no reason to believe he's not serious. I don't know. So that I've heard that, and then it was a public thing, but you just said that if it is in a public place, like you welcome that so long as people are cool. So then what was there another threat? Is there something else?
That's good enough. That's good enough. Yeah, that's good enough. And even doing that, saying that all that weird stuff online, the guys are free to say that. Only place I draw the line is just don't show up to a person's house, be it myself, employees, and don't show up to the job. That's it.
All right. Let's see. Okay, so aside from that, I think we've hammered out the Riley situation. I agree with you. He should not go. I said that. I haven't changed that position. I'm answering questions from people online talking about ventilating someone for showing up. And I'm like, there's a lot of questions here that are not so straightforward legally, even in Texas with property defense. And I would not put my money on a 12-person jury, doing that. But you weren't there. You don't have to worry about that at all. Not a big deal. So aside from the Riley thing, is there... I want to address something that you said I don't know if it was from a stream or a clip for something today. I don't know. But you said something about how you would have been cool 100% if I just said that Dick was my dude and I was going to ride with him no matter what happened. Right.
Correct.
So if when all this went down, I said, you know what? I think Dick's trying to fuck over Eric July. And I like Eric July. I want him to make millions of dollars, but Dick's my dude and I'm going to ride with him forever, whether he's wrong or not. You'd been perfectly okay with that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because you're being honest. 100%.
So the implication though, is that I meant that, but I said something else and therefore I'm being dishonest.
Well, yeah, I just feel like you're not as impartial as you like to think that you are, or that you make it appear. The reason being is because when this whole gay shit popped off, the first thing it is that you did, Nick, you could have acknowledged, right? You chose not to, you chose not to acknowledge that, well, okay, this weirdo started, which is your partner, that's cool, it's all gravy, started high siding on me. It was not the other way around. This was not a me versus him thing. It's like, oh, you're like, oh, this whole thing is gay. And I'm like, well, you need to be applying. I told you this. You remember I told you this when you first kind of injected, because your chat's asking you about all this. They know that
it happened on my show. Like this started here, not from me, but it started because Nina, Dick was criticizing the book. Nina says, "Have you read it?" He says no. Then everybody's like, "You got to read it and do the review. How can you know?" And all that shit popped up. That wasn't me. So I don't know how I didn't acknowledge it. I mean, it started.
No. I'm not talking about during that. What I'm saying is that you didn't, as far as what you didn't acknowledge, is that you're presenting it as if this was this guy versus that guy thing, when that's not at all what this was. Your partner started the issue, right? That's and it's all on him. This isn't an Eric versus him thing. This is a thing that he is perpetually online. Maybe he doesn't have it all upstairs. This is maybe his shtick. But if you want the shit to end, and you want that because you find this whole thing gay, and you're genuine about that, right?
100%. I hate
that's a conversation that you got to have with him. It's not the other way around.
I'm not his dad, man. What do you want me to do?
All right. So you're not.
Tell you to stop.
Right. Wait, that's exactly what it is that you did.
No, it isn't.
You said you. All right. So let's be more accurate.
I said I'll be 100% accurate. I said Dick is a troll, and if you keep feeding him, he will keep going because that's who he is.
All right. So and I totally understand that is I'm not unaware about that. What I'm more so referencing is that, hey, you were presenting it as if it was a this guy versus that guy thing. You found the whole thing to be gay, but the party that's instigating the shit, you're not saying anything about. You're not addressing him. You're trying to play the middle. You're pretending like you're trying to play the middle of the road when the argument is that I make, you're completely ignoring the context. I guess that is what it is that I'm saying. And the context.
I think you missed the parts at the beginning where I said that Eric isn't engaging this, and that's good. But his fans are stirring this up because they respond constantly. And again, I'm not blaming you for that. I was respecting the fact that you were not engaging. And then eventually it pops off. I know how exactly this shit happens to me all the time.
Yeah.
People bring you in. You got brought in. That sucks, man. Like 100%.
Well, not necessarily. Let's just be honest. The guy that you call your partner.
I've never called him that. You called him that, but
all right. So what is he to you?
I think he's just a friend.
All right, so a friend. That's what I mean by partner. Those are interchangeable terms. That's your partner.
Okay, I want to be clear because some people have implied that I have a business relationship with Dick, which I do not.
Dick I don't know anything about that. I don't know anything about that.
I'm just being clear on that. Okay, gotcha.
But no, that's your partner. That's all that it is that I'm saying. I'm just saying if you, and this is my honest opinion, if you actually wanted the shit to end and you didn't, this is not something that you would have preferred to happen, you would have took that up with the actual initiating party. And that's not what it is to do it. No.
I didn't do that?
No. Not to my knowledge, you didn't do it. You did, however, bring it up like, hey, I don't want you to be, I wish that this wouldn't happen and this is all gay and all that. To my knowledge, you haven't done any of that. But on a serious note, on a more serious note.
Would you have knowledge if I did?
Absolutely. If I know about it, I'd absolutely acknowledge. Like,
well, if you know about it.
Huh?
If you know about it, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I'm saying. That's what, and
you
what
would
you just
necessarily know?
Say what?
Do you know what I've said to Dick about this?
No, not. I only know what you say in public. Have you? I ask you flat out. Have you?
Maybe.
Right. Is that a yes or a no, though, Nick?
I don't know. Is it a yes or no? You're saying what I haven't had.
Hold on.
You're the one who said what I did.
You can't sit up here and keep asking me these questions.
First of all, you're asking me to be
have you addressed it personally about it? Have you? Yes or no? Yes or no?
I've talked to Dick 100 times about this. Yes.
Okay. Cool. All right. Cool. That's all. Okay. Cool. And so, how did that conversation go?
Exactly as you would expect a conversation with Dick Masterson about what they should do.
I don't know how that is.
You haven't figured that out by now? Like if you tell Dick to do something that he's not going to do it, right?
What did you tell him to do?
Hey, Dick, this shit's gay. I wish you would stop.
You told him to stop?
What am I going to do? Like demand? I'm not.
I'm asking you had a conversation with. I don't know what the fuck happened.
Do you call people up and tell them to stop doing something?
If I have a personal
your friend, like
and I think they're doing something that I think is ill-advised, I 100% will. If it's
you'll tell them.
I will advise them in whatever way. I can't demand as a grown ass man.
You can't demand something of a grown ass man, but I can.
No, I'm not saying no. That's the complete opposite of what it is that I'm saying. That's why I'm asking you what it is. What it is you said. You of course can't demand of a grown ass. You can't control. He's a grown ass man. I'm asking you. Did you say as his friend, like, hey, cut the bullshit out? I don't know. I'm asking. I'm not saying you're required to. I'm just asking.
You knew 5 minutes ago, but now you don't. That's
no. I said all I know is what's public, Nick. That's all I know.
But first you said you never said this to Dick.
Public.
You never asked him.
I'm referring to public.
Public came up when I called you out on it, though.
Let me correct it and be more accurate. I'm specifically referring to what you say publicly. That's it.
Okay. Yeah. No, I've told Dick that
I mean, you ain't talked to me. You haven't talked to me about this shit at all.
Would you want me calling up and saying, "Hey, Eric, I think you should stop this shit with Dick"?
If you thought I was in error, Nick, if you thought we were cool and you thought I was in error, right?
Do I think you're in error?
I would say no. That's all it is that I'm saying.
But do I think you're in error?
I don't think I'm in error. Do you?
No.
Okay. So, but all I'm saying is regarding the conversation, which is the question that it is that you just asked. if I thought a friend was in error, I would say, hey, man, I don't think that's what it is you should do.
Well, to be clear, we may differ on what we think he's in error on, but I have said I wish this shit was over. It's annoying. It fucks up my show, and I hate you for it, you bastard.
Okay, cool. That's fine. Well, again, didn't hear that publicly, which so that's good.
Why
news.
would you,
dude?
I don't air that shit out in public. Like, why would I do that?
Oh man, you talked a lot about this situation publicly.
Have I ever said that Eric July is wrong?
Well, what you have said, you worded in a way, and I don't know if it's lawyer speak, is I wouldn't have done this if I was him. That's essentially how you word things.
I wouldn't have.
All right, cool. Right. So this is.
But I've actually never said you're wrong. In fact, even on the places where I disagree with you, because you have a set of evidence that you think leads to the conclusion that Dick and Vito are behind the contacting of the charity and behind the contacting of the ISOM company, right? Like,
well, I'm going by what on the latter. I'm going by what was specifically stated by them.
What was stated on their podcast.
That was specifically stated by them.
And even in that instance in which I disagree and I say, I do not find this to be sufficient evidence. One, because Vito is retarded and uses we in an inappropriate way. Two, because that Twitter account and that email address exists.
So what about is your buddy as retarded when he says I contacted a charity?
Dick contacted the charity about something else? No, I think he clearly contacted the charity. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But he's not the guy who sent the email.
The
email that's in question.
Okay. Right? So either way, you're saying that you understand that he specifically mentioned that he did the charity or he contacted the charity.
Sure.
Okay, you're just saying that the email, I guess, as far as what I talked about in that video, wasn't him. That's the point you're making, or you don't see sufficient evidence that it was.
Right. I haven't seen sufficient evidence, and here's the thing. And I said, however, I don't know if people like didn't clip this and send it, or you didn't see it. I don't know, but I said, however, I understand and fully accept why Eric would come to that conclusion. He and I have different relationships with Dick. Cool. I've known him for longer. I talked to him about this. I asked him flat out, are you behind sending that email? No, of course not. I think it's funny. I probably would have or something like that. And I'm like, well, that shit's gay. I don't like it. But if you didn't send the email, then, that's until I see otherwise, I have no reason to believe your conclusion over his word. And so I said, though, but Eric doesn't have that relationship with Dick. He doesn't know him at all. And his conclusions are perfectly reasonable. But I think if you're going to start a court case, and there was talk, I don't know if you accused anybody, you said you were going to sue anybody. I'm not putting that on you. I know there's a lot of talk about a court case, about tortious interference and all this shit. And I said, I wouldn't want to go to court on this evidence. And I'm waiting to see something more. If I see more that is more conclusive, I'll happily say that's bullshit. I hate that shit. I do not like people fucking with other people's business.
All right, so hold on. Let's address that.
One second. And every single time I always finish with, I love Eric. I love what he's doing. And I want that man to make millions and millions of dollars. I want this shit to go away. I think the lawsuit's bogus. I think they got trolled into it. And I think it's retarded. Yeah. But now I wanted to clarify that, but go ahead and say
okay. So you don't think that anybody, you say you don't like that when people try to fuck with other people's business.
No, I don't.
Okay. So is your claim that your partner or your friend, as you put it, so you don't think he's tried to fuck with someone else's business?
It depends on what exactly you mean by that.
No, I want to know what you think, because I mean, you're saying that you don't think that you see it. I want to know how you define fucking with someone's business.
So what I define as fucking with someone's business in this context, because of what I've seen, is in relation to the charity shit and then the ISOM shit, where someone was contacted like a kind of Karen to get them into action against you. I hate that shit.
Okay, so
calling for people to be canceled.
So your partner did that with the trademark issue.
He did that with the trademark issue.
Yeah. He specifically messaged. He tweeted at the CEO, and he was like, "I hope you consider, like a little Karen, like you just said. I hope you consider that. He did X, Y, and Z. He specifically did that
after they filed the lawsuit, right?
Yes.
Yeah, after they filed the lawsuit.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. You're in a legal action, man. He's commenting on it, like."
All right, so all right. So you don't look at that like trying to fuck with someone's business, trying to essentially instigate it is what it is. Because we haven't been served or anything like that. Essentially trying to instigate that. You don't see that as that trying to fuck with someone's business.
Dude, if I said that everyone who talked about something in a negative way involving someone,
that's not what it is that I'm saying. No, we're talking about him specifically, like a Karen, tweeting directly at this CEO of whoever is involved in this trademark dispute, trying to instigate the continuation of the lawsuit.
Instigate the continuation of the lawsuit?
Correct, because we haven't been
served. Was the lawsuit ending?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't. Nobody's been served.
So, but like the lawsuit,
it's still in limbo. It's still in limbo. It hasn't. It's still in that limbo phase. Nobody's been served. We haven't gone to court over it. Nothing. None of that has happened.
Good. I hope it costs you.
Right. All right. So back to the point, though. What would you consider that? Well, you wouldn't consider that trying to actively fuck with someone's business.
Had you guys already been fighting for like 2 months at this point?
I'm not. No, I wouldn't consider that. I'm asking you. Can you?
You wouldn't consider that?
No, not at all. I consider it that I would more so accurately putting it is that this guy has an issue with me, and that's all that it is.
Hadn't you guys had a fight on Flashcast already at this point, and then it kept going after that?
Say what?
You guys had already talked on Flashcast prior to that, and then the shit kept going after, right?
Yeah, because he kept talking down.
He kept talking
down.
Oh, down.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, down. Yeah.
Dude, sometimes I mishear shit. I was just trying to clarify. Dude, is it fucking with someone's business? Can you answer the question? Yeah, no, I don't think that's fucking with someone's business.
All right, so
I don't think that's the same way.
Someone into a lawsuit is fucking with someone's business.
You're already in the lawsuit.
I understand that, but he's trying to instigate them into continuing it on because as the specific message that he responded to is the guy saying that, well, we don't want to go to court, yada yada yada, and that's whatever that is what it is. He's specifically saying that he wants him to consider X, Y, and Z. You don't consider your partner like a Karen contacting the CEO trying to instigate a lawsuit trying to fuck with someone's business.
Did you accuse him of starting that lawsuit?
No.
Prior to him tweeting that?
No.
No?
No.
You didn't say that he and Vito were behind that?
No.
I think your timeline might be off on that one, brother.
No, I think your timeline might be off on that one because if you watch my video, I never make all I did was connect that specific email to them. The person that emailed to them. Correct.
Right. So prior to him tweeting the people, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. So my timeline's not off.
No, your timeline is off. You're saying you're claiming that I said
my name.
No. You're trying to you're making a claim that I explicitly stated that I wouldn't be so foolish as to do that.
So Dick and Vito didn't do this then.
I don't know.
You don't know now.
No, I don't know. Maybe they did. Maybe they didn't.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Potentially. Nonetheless,
you're gonna sit here. You're gonna sit here and honestly fucking say maybe now.
That's
like you don't know.
What did you want to watch the video now, Nick? Because I never explicitly say that it is that was what it was that they did. What I will say is that again, the guy that sent that goofy ass email that tried to again gay op his way into kind of a lawsuit, someone took credit for it nonetheless, and that's what specifically happened. That's what it is that I'm saying. I'm connecting them. There was nothing that I said in that regard that was not factual. Nothing.
So you're not accusing Dick and Eric of fucking with or Dick and Vito of fucking with your business.
Oh no.
Until the tweet. Oh
no. That's not what it is that I'm saying. The guy has been actively trying to fuck with the business. I mean, he's trying to contact a charity, trying to prove some case of fucking fraud that doesn't exist, like a fucking Karen.
He tried to prove a case of fraud? He asked questions to charity and they answered him, right?
What reason would he have had to contact the charity?
Maybe he thought you were committing a fraud.
Okay, exactly. And obviously there's no evidence of any of that existing, and it doesn't stop him from continuously claiming that's what happened. However, you're claiming that's not trying to fuck you. What's the point of him doing that? He's just a good Samaritan. Is he just a good Samaritan trying to look out for people being fraud? That's what's happening, Nick?
Maybe. I don't know.
All right. Okay.
Did he say to you that he apologized for calling you a scammer and said he didn't think you were running a fraud?
No, I don't remember him ever saying that he didn't think I was running he didn't think I was running a fraud. I don't remember him ever saying that.
You don't remember that?
No.
Oh,
I remember. I know he continuously tweeted that I was.
He said it to your face, and you said okay. I mean, he did do that.
Said what to my face?
Exactly.
I've never
I'm
met this
sorry
guy
for
in person. I've never
he
met
said
this guy in person.
on Flashcast. You guys were both on Flashcast.
Oh, he said what? He said what on
said,
Flashcast?
I'm sorry for calling you a scammer. I don't think you're running a fraud. I'm sorry for saying
I don't remember
fraud.
that latter part. I do remember him apologizing and then right after starting to talk shit. So it didn't seem like it was that genuine.
Well, it probably wasn't genuine.
I didn't think it was either.
So,
you don't on a serious note, you think that you don't think that that's someone trying to actively fuck with someone's business. You wouldn't consider in contacting these people like Karens. You wouldn't consider any of that defaming, claiming fraud that's not there. You wouldn't consider that trying to fuck with someone's business. He's just up and just out of kindness of his heart, he's just trying to figure out and get to the bottom of this. What do you think that he was attempting to do? What was the end game there?
So, question: How?
I'm asking you a question. Can you answer that?
Sure. Well, restate it quickly.
All right, I'll restate it quickly. Restate it quickly. What do you think? For example, I gave you 2 examples, and we know that it is that he tried to do that. What do you think the point was? And for example, contacting the charity, what was he attempting to do there?
I don't know. Maybe fuck with your business.
Okay.
Or maybe ask questions about a fraud that he perceived. Okay. So the question I have for you though is: are people allowed to investigate a perceived fraud?
Oh, of course.
How would one do that?
Maybe they would contact a charity to try to find it.
So if someone sees something and they go, this seems like a scam or fraud, and they contact a charity, that's something they could do?
Yeah, they can do that. He did it. He's the one that did it. Of course he could do it.
So that's fucking with someone's business?
Well, he was attempting to fuck with the business, absolutely, because there's nothing there. And it also didn't stop him.
Hold on. That?
It didn't stop him. Yeah, well, yeah, of course he knew that. He's just trying to find smoke where there's no fire, essentially. There was nothing there, Nick, is the point it is that I'm making. There was nothing there before. There was nothing there after the fact. It didn't stop him from continuing to do things as such and claim that I was scamming and that I was doing all these various things. In addition to, and I gave you another example of trying to instigate a lawsuit.
A lawsuit that's already going.
That already exists, trying to instigate
the continuation of a lawsuit. Got it.
Continue. Yeah. And you don't find anything. You don't find any issue with that.
Dude, you guys have been fighting for months.
I'm cool. I'm cool with that, Nick. I'm all right.
Like I'm gonna be honest. I don't think that's fucking with your business.
Right.
Like that starting something new.
I disagree.
You're welcome to. I disagree. Yeah, you're welcome to. The thing I hate about the charity shit is I have a shit ton of questions that I would love to ask to clarify that stuff. But, and I want to be 1,000,000,000% clear, and I've never faltered from this. I do not in any way think that you have done anything wrongful in regards to any charity. Okay? There are questions I would love to ask to clarify this discussion we're having about why someone might do it. But if I ask those questions and you answer them weirdly, it could compromise you. And I don't want to do that.
Have you, let me ask you this, and I'll answer whatever questions it is that you have. Have you pressed your partner on these things and had a conversation like this publicly with him? As far as all the claims it is that he's made and all the things it is that he said, have you asked him about any of that stuff and really got to the nitty gritty on that?
No, he didn't ask me.
Okay, so you've never done that. All right, so go ahead and ask me what questions you have pertaining to the charity.
To be fair, I hadn't done it with you until you came into my chat on my show after calling me out in fucking public, lying about what I've said.
What did I lie about? Hold on, wait.
Buddy. You don't want to get into this right now.
What did I lie about? What did I lie about?
You've said this entire time that I've been dishonest and non-objective. No, well, hold on, man. You don't think I'm objective because what I said was, I think Eric July is on the up and up. I want him to make a fucking fortune. I want him to do everything. But I have not seen sufficient evidence to support that Dick and Pete.
Now you're lying. Now you're lying. You're lying. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You're fucking lying because I've never once made that claim. So now you're lying. You're lying, saying that I said you objective because you said those three. I said that you weren't objective.
Not as objective as I thought.
That's what I said, and never once did I say it was because of you saying those.
I will humbly suggest you do not know the definition of the word objective.
Okay.
Because what I've said,
and I don't think you know the definition of lying because you're claiming that I did something that I did not. Or matter of fact, maybe to be more accurate, you're a fucking hypocrite in that regards because you're lying on me in a position that I don't have.
You.
Say what?
You have said that I am not honest and not objective.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, I said no. Yeah, I've said that I don't think you are as objective as you lead yourself on to believe, or lead maybe your followers and others to believe. That's what it is that I said.
So I'm deceiving my followers. Is that what I'm doing? I'm lying about the situation.
I don't think it's necessarily deception. I think that's just more so a natural response to, if you got a partner, that's your boy. And therefore,
I'm not rolling with my partner. I'm not doing that.
You're not doing what?
I'm not rolling with Dick because he's my friend. If Dick did this, I'd just call him a fucking idiot. And you know why? Dick wouldn't care. Dick told me to disavow him specifically to make my life easier, Eric.
Okay. All right. And that's cool. Like, I'm not telling you to disavow him.
You absolutely
only claim
are.
it is that I'm say what?
You absolutely have done that several times.
That is a fucking lie.
Buddy. Oh, maybe you didn't explicitly say it, right? So you just implied that
I just implied that I wanted you to. Nick, you can be friends with whoever the fuck you want to be friends with. That's not a problem. Of course. So that's never been an issue. So me talking about you being objective is me essentially saying that I don't believe you're playing the middle of the road, and that
How
you
would
don't
I play the middle of the road.
This.
Explain what that would look like.
All right. So for me, if you were honest with with your claim that you, and this is the first thing, and I'm going by the first thing it is that you said when you put yourself. Well, we can't say that because the shit happened on your show. So the first thing it is that you said,
"Oh fuck, stop this."
Say what?
The first thing I said was, "Oh fuck, we got to stop this shit." Like,
right.
I don't want this shit.
Specifically, what it is that I'm saying is that you, when I first saw you post that, injecting yourself into this whole ordeal, and your position, right? Because you can't say you injected yourself because you were part of the stream that popped all this shit off. The only thing it was that I'm saying is that, and I told you this again, I keep referring back to this. I specifically said, if you have issue and you don't want this whole ordeal to be a thing, your issue isn't with me. And there is no reason publicly to play this as if this is a me versus him fight. This is your partner doesn't like me, and I'm the responding agency. That's it. So
that's been my position the entire time, Eric.
Okay. I will accept that that's your position now.
Okay, so that's what I need to do to be objective?
No.
I'm trying to find out, because you're saying I'm not objective. So how do I be objective? What is the outcome that would make me objective?
Because you would be honest with what's actually happening.
Implying I'm genuinely
believe.
Okay.
Say what?
You just implied again that I was dishonest about
it.
No,
I'm saying you're not honest about what the situation actually was. Initially, this was your partner didn't like, or friend. Let me stop saying that. Your friend didn't like me. That is what it is. You tried to play it as if this was an Eric versus your partner thing. It was never that.
No, I said it was Eric's fans responding to Dick, who clearly instigated
you weren't talking about me when you were talking about that whole ordeal initially. You were saying that it's my fans.
It was your fans.
Okay. All right. Misunderstanding.
I said Eric is not responding. I commend him for staying out of it.
Okay. No, not during that. No. During that period of time, I don't. Well, specifically what it was that I was.
Eventually, you did engage, though, right? Like you did. I'm not, and that's not bad. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not accusing you. You did enter the fray with Dick, right?
Well, I guess by
back and forth with him. By responding, yeah. Like,
yeah, by responding to a review, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. What?
So so am I never allowed to suggest?
No.
That
stop. Don't try to set it as if this is. I am demanding or demanding that Nick Rekieta do X. That's not what it is that I'm saying.
You claimed I wasn't objective. I'm trying to find out how I would have been objective.
All right. So how you would have been objective is you would have went, instead of trying to play that card, I believe. And I could be wrong. Maybe that's a cultural thing. You would have went directly to the person that was the initiating party that kept this bullshit going on and would have addressed it with them if you really did not want this gay shit to actually be a thing. Because I believed you.
Because I didn't do it in public, though.
Yeah, because now news to me. You said that you talked to him. You talked to him privately. That was news to me. I never knew that.
I know you didn't know that. I didn't tell you.
Okay, so I'll accept that that's what it is that you did, and now I have new information.
So am I objective now?
Yeah, you're more objective than I gave you credit for. Then
am I objective or am I more objective?
More objective than you gave yourself. That I gave you credit for. Let's be more.
But I'm not at objective yet.
No, I don't believe that you're
Okay, so what do I need
then to be fair, all right, so let me be
It's your claim, bro. I'm just trying
I
to
know
figure out
I
what the
said
fuck
that
it
you're not
be.
as objective. More so, I said you're not as objective as I think you lead yourself to believe. And
yes, I know you're claiming what I have convinced myself and my audience of, and I'm trying to figure out what things it would be for me to show
I
you
just
that I
gave
am,
you an example. And to be honest, Nick, I just gave you an example. And then when I even give you examples, to me, you can't even concede some. And this is why it's so difficult for me to believe that you're trying your level best, right? To be objective when you can't even acknowledge the fact that this guy is actively and took credit for trying to ruin someone's business.
First things first. Let's get back to that objective thing, and then I'll get to that second thing, because I was trying to finish the statement. But your claim is that I'm not objective. I'm asking for information on how to show I am. And when you gave me the information, I said, hey, I've actually done that thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had to walk that back a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So then I said, am I objective now? And you said, no. So I asked, okay,
well,
what other thing?
All right.
Well, hold the fuck on, man.
Okay, man.
So when I ask for more information, it might be because you have another misconception that you wouldn't have any opportunity to know about my position.
And I've already given you two examples, right, of what to me is blatantly obvious, and maybe you disagree, and maybe that's where our disagreement lies, because for you, actively going to fuck with someone's business is not actively going to fuck with someone's business. You just,
we have different definitions of actively fucking with someone's business. I want to know how anything Dick has done would fuck with your business outside of some people might not like you.
So what? All right. So let me ask you this. What do you consider that? What does that look like if someone's actively fucking with someone's business or attempting to ruin, even though they explicitly state that was what it was that they did? Right? Even though I would make that argument, that's not necessarily the attempt is there, right? The intention is there. He's explicitly stated it, but that's not good enough for you.
No. So here's the thing. I asked you because you brought up contacting the charity, right? Mm-hmm. Now we've separated that out from this other guy who did the charity and the ISOM people. That was a separate email. And so we're not talking about that.
I don't have, there's no evidence that that's not the contact that the person was referring to, number one.
Okay. Ignore that I said separate people because we're different on that, and that's fine. What I mean is we're not talking about that set of incidents. We're talking about the one that Dick said where he contacted the charity, right? The one he specifically said, I contacted the charity and asked them questions, right?
Yes.
Okay. So when Dick contacts a charity and asks them questions about what he perceives as a fraud, even if he's just being an asshole and thinks you're defrauding because he hates you, I don't know why. But he sees it. He says, I think this is a fraud, contacts a charity. I asked you, if someone's investigating fraud, what might they do? Would they contact the charity? You said yes. So the follow-up question that wasn't answered was, how is that fucking with your business? Like, what stands to happen if Dick contacts the charity and asks
regarding
questions?
The intention? I'm speaking regarding the intention, because obviously there was no fraud there, Nick.
I agree. I don't see any
fraud. There was never any fraud, but that didn't stop the motherfucker from claiming that he was. And you would agree that kind of claiming someone's doing fucked up things, especially when it's pertaining to children, is kind of fucked up, right?
Unless they believe it.
So it's unless they believe it. So even though they have zero proof of it, they keep claiming that it is because they went and fished for something that wasn't there. They didn't even get anything, right? They didn't even get, there was no outside of that specific email that the co-host shared, we have zero evidence of any sort of contact. None. Okay. There's no evidence, but we do have him explicitly stating that he did. Okay. So either way,
either way, at his word there, right? Like that he did contact them.
Yeah. I'm taking him at his word. Yeah. I'm taking him at his word that that's what he did.
But you also said it would be reasonable if you thought there would be fraud that you could investigate it by contacting the charity. All I'm asking is, if he contacts a charity and he's completely wrong and all of his questions are blown out of the fucking water, how does that hurt your business?
I'm talking about the intention of trying to fuck with our business. That's what it is that I'm saying.
But okay, hear me out though. Let's do a hypothetical.
It's like, all right, yeah, you went to try to go whoop someone's ass, and just because you lost the fight didn't mean you attempted to get in the fight, Nick.
No. It's if I think that someone is committing a fraud and I want to call them out for committing a fraud, and I contact the charity, and then I don't find fraud,
and you don't find fraud, there's no evidence of it, there was nothing presented that showed it, you still claim that it exists.
Well, let me say this way, and I hate being a lawyer on all this shit because I'm delineating between my opinions and other people's opinions. I've clearly stated I didn't see anything that looks like fraud, although there are questions, again, that I would ask if you're open to it, but I don't want to ask those questions because it is in regards to wording, and I hate that shit because I don't want to invite anything. I don't want to be accused of ruining shit because I have no intention to ruin fucking anything. I just want to do my goddamn podcast every fucking day.
And I don't knock that for you. I don't knock you for just wanting to do your thing and do your podcast. I'm just saying.
But if someone is committing a fraud, in your opinion, and you contact to find out, are you, like, if they are committing a fraud, Nick, isn't it good to ruin their business?
There was no fraud.
But he believed, assuming he thought it was genuine, he believed there was, right?
Okay. All right. So if we assume that, so you're giving him a lot more credit than I am and saying that he did that, right? He genuinely believed there was a fraud. Okay.
I don't know what he believes.
Okay. So what?
If I ask him, he'll probably say, yeah, I thought it was fraudulent. $17 for a fucking comic book's ridiculous.
Okay. So what in the fuck? There was no proof of it. There's nothing that's come from that. There's nothing that will come from that. It didn't stop him from claiming that it was a scam, and it didn't stop him from saying that I'm frauding kids and all that good stuff. Do you believe that going around constantly insisting that, despite it being completely false, fabricated, that someone, especially when you claim to have contacted them, yet were unable to find anything there, right? Do you believe that that is an attempt to try to fuck with someone's business?
If I say yes, you're going to say, aha, you tried to fuck with someone's business.
No, I'm not. I just want you to be honest, because
I am being honest.
That's what we're discussing, though, Nick. The whole point of this discussion right here is you don't agree that this person was actively trying to fuck with someone's business. And then when I give you an example of it, all I want you to say is that you believe that, yeah, that absolutely is the case, or it wouldn't. Because I'd imagine that, definitely with you being a lawyer, you would think that it's reasonable that something like that, the attempt is, right, to fuck with. So you just explicitly even said that. You said, well, isn't it good to fuck with someone's business if that's what it is they're doing?
Yeah. So the hard part about this is I'm trying to give the answer to someone whose mind I don't fully know. And that's the second part of the answer that I was trying to give, which is there was a follow-up to that situation, right? The follow-up to that situation was an answer from the charity, a public statement that was really nice. They're very praising of you, correct?
Wait, as far as
the charity, the charity made some post or something. They said how great Rippaverse has been. They're donating all this comics, and they've donated money and all that stuff, right? Like that happened.
Yeah, that happened. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is not an accusation. Subsequent to the inquiry by Dick to the charity, did you not donate additional funds to that charity?
I donated funds to the charity before that was a post was even a thing. In fact, they acknowledged that.
Did you make a subsequent post after, or a subsequent donation after the post?
Our agreement was that we were going to keep giving them donations during this whole campaign window.
Right. So I'm not getting into your intent. I've said a million times, you did not commit fraud in any way, in my opinion. Okay. But to get to why this answer gets fucking complicated is the accusation is leveled, right? That you are charging too much and pocketing money. And I don't believe that accusation, but that's what's leveled. Charity makes a post. Rippa donates more funds after that, right? Like, I'm not wrong on the timeline, right? You had an agreement. I understand, but that's what happened, right? That's what the public sees.
The public, as far as that post, yes, the post, they posted about us. And is that what it is that you're referring to?
Yes, yeah, that's what I'm saying. They posted about you, and there was a donation that came in. You said a donation was made before of cash in addition to books before that post was made, and then there was an additional donation, or maybe 10, I don't know, 10 donations. I don't know how many.
Yeah, we've done. All right, so I'll explain to you exactly what happened, which is what it is that they've already explained publicly as well. We popped the charity off with we funded an entire initiative it is that they had, right? And then we agreed with them, contingent on X amount of books being sold, we're going to keep donating to you guys money. So we gave them money prior to any conflict, any supposed conflict or any claim of fraud or anything like that. And they've acknowledged that.
Yeah. The charities acknowledge that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that agreement about the books and all that stuff? Is that public, or is this the first time that's being public?
They've already they've already stated that. They've stated that in multiple posts. That's public.
Okay. I'd see. I'm not aware of like the full nature of the agreement or any of that. I haven't seen any of that. But let me ask you a question. If you think someone is defrauding something, right? And then you call them out. And then after that call out, there's a post. And then there's another donation. Is it reasonable in any context for the person who thinks you are defrauding someone to think that post was a makeup post? They're scared about being called out on the fraud. Do you think that would be a reasonable conclusion for someone?
Why would they post that if it actually legitimately was a fraud? What would the fraud be?
I have that you were overcharging for books and donating books for less value than what you charge. That's the claim of the fraud, right? You were overcharging for the charity book. That's the claim. Again, I don't believe this claim. I'm just saying that's the claim, right?
We were already, Nick, the thing is, and that's been made public, is that we had already gave them money prior to the post that they made, or prior to the claim that it is they made, and we gave them multiple. Obviously, as sales came in, that happened. So why on earth would how could someone come to such a conclusion?
So hear me out. I hate X company because I'm an asshole, and that's the only reason. And I think that person's scamming kids. They're way overcharging for a book, pocketing money. I contact the charity, I make that accusation, and then the charity makes a post. No, they're a great business partner, and then another donation comes in. You don't see how the person who hates that person would think that maybe that donation was a cover-up.
But that doesn't, again, that doesn't
I'm not
make
saying
sense.
It makes it true. I'm just saying, could you see that being
a
possibility?
I couldn't, unless someone's just trying to make it seem like that's what it is, when it's not. They're forcing the issue. We objectively gave them money prior to any sort of before anybody even
I hear you.
Before anybody even knew about this. So that's the thing that how can someone say that there was a scam that existed when we had already given them money prior to someone claiming that there was a fraud? So this was not a case of, there was an additional donation, or there, not an additional, there was just, they got money. They just got money after there was a claim of fraud.
Was delivering a book to the charity $17?
That was, well, let me say this.
Was delivering a book to the charity $17? I didn't want to ask these questions, Eric. Was delivering a book to the charity $17?
That was the cost, and I'm explaining it to you. That was the cost associated with operating. That included the sales of that included the sale of the actual physical book and all the operations associated with, because we had to pack, we had to bag and board, we had to ship it, we had to palletize all of these orders, and we had to send those out. And it doesn't even fucking matter. You know why, Nick? Because we gave them money.
I agree with you.
So why is that even a question?
Because I trust you doesn't mean everybody else on earth is required to trust you, right?
I'm not saying that everybody is required to trust me by any means. What it is that I am saying is that we gave them, as a company, we gave them money, right?
Yes.
The 17 that we charged. And by the way, it was not just $17. And I wish people would say that. That was not the average cost of the book.
What was the average cost?
The average cost, the average cost, I think, came out to something closer to like $13 or so, because we offered it in bundles. So the more money it is that they got, I don't know, is there something that was confusing right there, Nick?
I didn't want to ask you these questions, man. Did you solicit a charitable donation for a book for $17 and the actual cost was $13?
That's not what it is that I said. I'm saying that's the average.
What you said. That's why I didn't want to ask these questions.
Okay, no, I am specifically referencing. It's like you heard nothing. It was that I said. I'm specifically referencing how much on average that the customer paid for. It was not $17.
Okay, so I'm trying to figure this out. See, does it cost $17 to ship one book to the charity? Yes or no?
We didn't ship just one book to the charity. So
I didn't
no.
ask if you did.
So no. No.
Okay.
Those were the costs. That was the cost that we
get new lawyers.
What?
Get new lawyers.
Okay. I'm going to explain exactly what the cost was, Nick.
Please do.
We calculated the 17, it was like $17.50 that we said that you could buy for a solo book, right? That was what we had calculated on our end. That included the actual book. That included the like again, bag, board, all the labor that is in that whole ordeal. We sold and we incentivized our readers, right, to purchase more books. The more books they got, the cheaper that it was in terms of their actual donation. So this isn't some gotcha or anything like that. We specifically had a setup. It was agreed upon by ourselves and our customers to get these books not only out to these to them just bag boarded, palletized, all that good stuff, but we also gave them fucking cash. That was the number that we had associated with that was what for us to feel good when it came to if they ordered one, even though that wasn't the average, and we knew that wasn't going to be the average. That was the cost associated with the labor and everything it was to ship. I don't want to talk about this individual book.
You got to stop talking about this right now, dude.
For what? I don't got to stop talking about shit. You're trying to make it seem as if it's something that it is not, Nick.
No, I'm not.
There is nothing there. No. We're not even going there where you're trying to insinuate, acting as if there was some error. When I talk about $17 a book, you're talking about for one book. When I said no, I'm specifically referencing the fact that we went out of our way, Nick, to incentivize our readers, our purchasers, to donate more books. In order for us to do that, we allowed them to get multiple, just as anything else. It's not anything unique to us, so that they at that cost, right, could continue to get more books to this charity. Don't put your head down. I want you to explain to all the people what it is.
New lawyers and stop talking about this.
I'm not. All right.
I told you I don't want to ask these questions. You said ask me anything. I said I don't want to ask these questions because I believe you did not commit fraud. I 1,000, 1,000,000,000%
so
believe
I
you did not.
I guess everything it is that I said, you somehow think that somehow is maybe proof.
The fact that you don't is why you need different lawyers on this subject, brother.
Okay. All right. Cool.
I don't want to ask questions about this. I
would love for you to continue to ask questions because nothing's there and nothing's going to happen. I don't even know why. Because see, you're trying to dramatize it. You're like, oh,
no, I don't want to dramatize this.
That's exactly what it is that you're doing. That's exactly what it is you're doing. There was no fraud, and you're not pointing to any fraud just by simply saying, was the book 7-1? Was someone got 17.50? I just told you how those costs were associated or how those costs were calculated. There's nothing there. There's no smoke there. I don't know why you're even pretending that is the case. I understand that you're a lawyer and you're telling me now to get new lawyers. What do you think is going to happen to us now, Nick?
I hope to God nothing.
And nothing will. And I'll tell you what. How about this?
Please let
it
be.
How about we'll revisit the question. We'll revisit it. We'll revisit it because clearly you're uncomfortable, and I don't want to talk about anything that you're uncomfortable with me talking about.
Because I get accused of drawing the shit out of people, and I tried not to.
You didn't draw. There was nothing that you drew out. There was nothing that you drew out.
Brother,
and nothing's gonna happen.
Ever suggest that you are soliciting donations for $17 and it costs less.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. That is an incorrect assessment. If that's what it is that you picked up, that was incorrect.
That's what everybody has picked up since you said it the first time, and that's why some people believe you commit fraud. And that's why some people, because you solicited a book for $17 or $17.50, whatever it was, for a charitable donation. And then you stated publicly on Twitter that it was less per book on average. I hear you.
I am I hear you. What do you think it is that I'm saying there when I say less on average? What do you think it is that I'm saying? What do you think I'm referring to? Seriously,
that it doesn't cost $17 to get a book.
No. But no, Nick. All right. So now I see where the confusion is. That's not what it is that we're saying. What I'm saying when I say it was less than 17, I'm saying that was I'm referring to the average cost to the customers. Because when you look at how many books were donated, and you calculate that or divide that by how much the customer individually paid for, it was less than that because there was a discount when you got more books, Nick. That's why it's lesser of $1. That's not a secret. I'm not introducing you new information.
I know that. And I have said, I believe you. It's not about what you did. It's about what people perceive.
And why would that be? What you saying that they didn't perceive before that if you bought more books, it meant less?
Because someone who doesn't trust you will suggest that you're pocketing $4 a book.
No, Nick.
I'm not saying you are. I'm telling you that's what people believe, dude.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, I'm saying, well, I don't think people genuinely believe that. I don't think you're understanding. No, I think that you're referring to your partner who tried to say that it was a scam, and really who was the only one that said there was some sort of scam that was existing. But again, I think
I sit on the board of charitable organizations, man. You need different advice on how you word this shit. Okay. I'm trying to help. Like, don't believe you did anything wrong. Okay, that's what I've been trying to say, man. Like,
okay, man.
I'm not trying to dramatize.
All right. Well, I will say this: that it is no secret that on average, as far as how much the customers paid for by basic math, it was less than 17, and we've long made that public because again, more books meant lesser price per book. So that's not news. But if that somehow incriminates me, okay, Nick.
It shouldn't.
Okay.
I'm not making the accusation, man.
That doesn't make
sense. But I've sat on the boards of charitable organizations, dude. Like, if someone asks you if it costs $17 to ship a book, you say yes. That's what you charge because that's what it costs. Period.
But that's not what we charge. That's the point that I made, Nick.
That is what you charge. If someone clicks that button, they pay you $17, right?
No, that's not what happened. If they got most people got multiple books, Nick.
I know, but if the person who clicked on the $17 one book thing, they got
for that individual item, yes.
Then that's what you say.
No,
you don't have to explain all that other shit.
All that other stuff is public, so and it's not. I mean, it's not me saying, "Hey guys, apparently it is incriminating." I shouldn't tell you that when it was live. If you bought more books, that meant that the book cost less when you bought it. Thanks, Nick. I appreciate you. I know it's making you uncomfortable. I'll go ahead and I will stop talking on that.
All right. Okay.
And for the record, and I get that you're saying that I needed to get new lawyers. All this whole deal legally was set up with lawyers that are involved. And there was,
I figured.
Yeah, and there was no worry about any of that. So and I get that you're saying because it would be your worry, or I don't know why, but you're saying that it would be your worry. It was not the worry of the lawyers that are involved.
Good.
Okay.
Ignoring any more specific statements on the subject and just going by what was said here. Can you understand why someone who hates you might think that when you say it's one thing online and then you say it's something else, an explanatory thing, and then you make a donation afterwards, that might be trying to cover for what was called out? Like, again, someone who's bad, like they don't like you, bad faith. They're not going to take you at your word. Do you see how they can make that conclusion?
No. I think then
you're fucking dumb on that issue.
All right. Man. So when I say no, I can certainly see how a bad actor could reach for something that isn't there. And that it doesn't, and it doesn't need to be actually that complicated. So I can at least see that, Nick. I'll for sure I can see that. But I will say that there's nothing there. There was never anything there, and I don't see how that. I
agree with you.
Okay.
I've never made the claim. I'm trying to show you why people who don't like you might continue to make the claim.
All right. So going back to the point, you don't think that's trying to ruin someone's business?
If they believe it, then no, man.
Okay, but if it's false, is it?
Yeah, if they find out it's false and they don't think it's true, then that's shitty.
Wait, does the truth rest upon what that individual believes? Does that just give them leeway to be able to just claim someone's doing something it is that's not? They're not, especially when it's criminal.
I mean, yeah, that's how defamation works,
right? So you would agree that
figures.
So you think okay, exactly. So do you think that would be defamation
if they have knowledge of the falsity and believe and the problem with knowledge of the falsity is everybody thinks, oh, well, they know it's false because it is. That's not actually sufficient. Like they have to believe it's false. Like they have to have a reckless disregard for the truth, which is in the face of all evidence that should be reasonably accepted, they still run with the other narrative. But I'm telling you, there's a bunch of people who don't have to accept what you say or
I
what
don't,
the charity
and I'm
says.
not saying that, but I'm saying that you don't think that that's an attempt to ruin someone's business.
Again, if they genuinely believe it, no. Well, I mean, I guess it would be a justified ruination for them, right?
So it is an attempt to ruin a business. Then it's just justified because he believes it.
Yeah, if there's a business that shoots kids in the head and I want to stop it, I want to ruin that business.
Right. Okay. But you're agreeing that he attempted to ruin the business. Now you're just saying. Now I guess the question now isn't whether or not he believes it. And correct me if I'm wrong, Nick. You're just saying that you think it was justified.
If he
or
believes
that
it,
he
then
believes it was justified.
So here, oh god. If I think a business is doing wrong, like legitimately doing wrong, and I call them out, that's not trying to ruin a business in the sense of being a dick. That's trying to ruin a business that's doing something objectively wrong, right?
And I understand that, but
I don't have a problem with people doing that.
Right. But however, like, so regardless, the question isn't really of whether or not he attempted to ruin the business. The question more so is if it was justified.
I mean, yes, if we want to break it down into that specific semantics.
Okay. We agree for sure at minimum on that he's attempted to ruin the business. So
yeah, but if someone's attempting to ruin a business for a cause they find is great, then I don't have a problem with that.
Right. Right. Well, I don't think that's the argument that I've never made was that whether or not you, I guess, have a problem with it. At least we agree that the guy tried to ruin a business, and you've previously
I don't think it's shitty to ruin a business that's immoral.
Right. And I understand that. But you agree, and that's the bottom line of what it is that I'm trying to explain here is that, before it was, I didn't see anything of them trying to ruin the business. And now we're breaking it down. And now you're saying that, well, he did try to ruin your business. He just thought that he was justified in doing so.
Dude, I colloquially use ruin your business on, the internet to suggest that someone doesn't have a reason to ruin a business.
Okay. So that's the qualifier.
Well, I mean, I thought that's an implied qualifier, right? Like, again, are you saying that, like, if that my position would be if some guy's out there gassing dogs?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that it's unjust to fuck like someone's business that, or if they're in the business of doing something that is legitimately criminal. I'm not saying that putting a spotlight on that is the fundamental problem. That's not what it is that I'm arguing. What I'm saying is before, and getting back to the original point, the original dispute was that you didn't see any example of him trying to actively ruin the business. Now that is now switched to, well, yeah, we now have an example of him doing it. It's just not justified. And now I get it. What you were saying, I guess you were prefacing it saying that, well, him attempting to ruin the business, I was more so speaking that, well, it's only when it's unjustified.
I didn't preface it with that. I didn't preface with that because that is the reasonable assumption of what someone's talking about.
Okay.
Like, that's not a weird thing, dude.
No. I will say that I misunderstood you on that because I misunderstood you on that.
You legitimately didn't draw a delineation between like someone being a cunt and trying to disrupt someone's business for no reason and someone thinking someone's doing wrong and trying to disrupt their business. Like you didn't. Well, you didn't think that there's a difference there.
Again, I do recognize that there's a differentiation between someone that is doing nothing wrong and then versus someone that is doing something wrong. That's not what's up for question. What we brought up is that, well, he's contacting the charity and he's constantly claiming someone as scam. And on top of that, he has specifically reached out to the CEO and of this whole trademark dispute, actively wanting him to sue people. And he's admitting it. He's flat out admitting it.
Yeah, you guys have called each other a bunch of names for months. He doesn't like you.
And I understand that. But that was the argument. That's the whole point, is that you're saying that, well, I'm not seeing an example of someone trying to ruin your business.
I haven't seen one.
And you're saying that, and if I understand you correctly, you're saying that he's just justified when he attempts to do it.
I think he believes he is. I don't agree with him, but I don't think he's lying about it.
Okay.
Do you think he's lying about what he believes about the charity? Like you think he's just flat out lying?
Yeah.
So you don't think he believes it at all?
I think that he wants other people to believe that there was something that existed that wasn't there.
But you think that he doesn't believe it. He just wants other people to.
I think that crazy motherfuckers will believe whatever the fuck it is that they want to believe, and they will lead their audience to believe whatever it is that they wanted to believe. I know that there's nothing fucking there.
Yeah,
and I think that he at least understands that, but there's intent there. The intent is I want to fuck with them regardless of that.
So you think, hold on, I'm trying to process what you just said. You said that you think whether or not he believes it, he's trying to fuck with you. But you think crazy people will believe whatever the fuck they want, but he'll lead his audience to believe whatever it is that he wants, but he might not believe it. So I don't know what he believes. No, I'm trying to figure out, does he believe it?
Do I think that he believes that no, I don't think that he genuinely has found any evidence of fraud by any means.
So you don't think he believes that you commit fraud?
No.
Okay,
not in that context. No,
I
I just think that he wants people to think that, and that's the part of the attempting to ruin someone's business, is that he wants it to be true, and he wants the audience to believe that.
Right. So you have a different perspective than him, probably, or I guess, I don't know. Maybe he agrees with you, and he doesn't believe it. I'm not sure. Well, but you asked why, like, asked for the distinction on all this stuff.
Thing. I get it, man. Like now I more so understand where it is that you're coming from and what your position is that.
Yeah, it's called objective.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's cool with that.
So am I objective now?
I got better understanding there.
Am I objective now? Because you said I wasn't objective before.
Yeah. You're more objective.
Now there's a qualifier again. More objective. Am I objective?
Well, that was always the qualifier. That was specifically what it was that I stated.
And I've asked you like 10 times now.
And
how do I be objective? What else do I need to do? So both things that you brought up, you now said I'm more objective. So you didn't know. And we cleared it up.
And for me, I think when I see things that are as obvious and blatant as that, as specifically the two examples it is that I gave you, and instead of acknowledging like, yeah, that's the guy's attempting to fuck with your business, you're trying to insist that, well, when you say that, it's only if the guy feels that it's unjustified, and that's now all of a sudden that's the qualifier.
That's not all of a sudden. That's the only reasonable fucking conclusion.
That's the only reasonable conclusion to the position it is that you have, and you have not. So all right. So if we can be more accurate about what your position actually is that you have not seen any example of him trying to ruin the business that he thinks as an individual is unjustified.
I've taken him at his word that no.
Okay, so at that point, there's nothing that can be proven in which he could be trying to ruin my business. There's nothing that he could do.
Unless he told me that, no, I don't believe any of it, and I'm just being a dick.
All right, so unless he felt like he was unjustified in doing it and told you, that will be the only way that he would not be in an attempt to ruin our business.
Do you think Dick could convince me that you committed fraud?
Can he? That's a question for you. I honestly don't know.
I've said a million times.
You said you don't believe it, so obviously he hasn't so far.
Right.
Yeah.
So you cannot just easily convince me that Dick is trying to ruin your business without some sort of justification.
And that's not really my desire.
No, I know. But listen for a second. So you can't do that, and he can't convince me that you're committing a fraud, right? So where's my bias?
In that equation, I mean, when you press it like that,
that is the equation,
the fact that you're giving him the benefit of the doubt.
Well, I'm not supposed to give him the benefit of the doubt?
Well, no, I am saying that
you understand what objective fucking means? Right. I've given you both the full faith. I've given you both the exact same credit. And I've known him way longer and way better than you, but I've given you the exact same credit. That is the goddamn definition of objective, brother.
All right, so your reference to objectivity is only and solely of you taking the person's word for it. That's it.
No, treating both parties equally.
As far as what?
I've taken both of y'all's words for it equally until I see evidence otherwise. I haven't seen any from either of you.
As far as you haven't seen any evidence of what? What do you need evidence from me for?
We just went through all this, I think. But that he's somehow unjustifiably going after your business.
Right,
you don't think so because you're biased.
We have a better we that I will agree to, that we have a better understanding of what your position is there.
My position is taking both of you at full faith.
No, I'm not referring to that. I'm referring to that the whole business trying to ruin someone's business. That's
why I'm trying to show you that I've been objective from the start.
And I'm
when you
okay with
accuse me of the opposite, man. And
okay,
that's what's frustrating.
Having better understanding of what your position is, I'll accept your word for that.
Thank you. Dude, if I told Dick he was the worst piece of shit and I think he was ruining your business, I disavowed him constantly, it would do zero bad for me. Zero, other than my personal integrity.
And that's, again, I want to be clear. I'm not saying that you should disavow anybody. I don't think that's something that, I think that's just kind of gay. I'm not telling you who to be friends with and who not to be friends with. But there is a guy that is obviously actively trying to fuck with someone's business, and you just disagree, and that's cool.
Yeah, it's not that I disagree. It's that I have no.
Well, you don't have evidence. You don't have evidence
on either side, man. Because I'm objective on it, brother.
Yeah, it just doesn't have. You just don't have conclusive evidence of that.
I don't. And
I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that being your position.
Good. That's been my position from the start.
I'm not saying that it wasn't. I have a better understanding after the conversation, Nick.
Yeah, and I want you to make. I want you to make every fucking dollar on the planet. I want you to sell 1 trillion books. I always have. It's never not been true, man.
Thank you.
I gotta say, you mentioned that I never reached out to you. I don't have any DMs either.
Well, I've never taken issue with you like that.
Dude, you called me out on 2 live streams by name.
Well, yeah, because you were talking about me, Nick. The fuck? Like, again, this isn't here we go. We're back to square one, where it's like, I'm the responding agency here, and then you're like expecting having that expectation of me. I haven't contacted you because I haven't had a fucking problem.
Sounded like one today, brother.
No, I gave you my position, and that was my genuine opinion of the situation. I thought the shit was fucking corny. That was my position, and that's cool. That's all that it was. And yeah, like if I had like a genuine problem, and this is what I made. I see you didn't acknowledge this, but when I said what it is that I said, I was like, hey, I don't have it. Disappointed as I might be, I don't have any fucking, I don't wish no ill will, and I don't got no fucking problem with you. Because if I had a problem with you, I'll just tell you, Nick.
All right.
So yeah, that's why you haven't got no DMs from me.
Okay. Yeah, I have not seen any reason to quote unquote correct you or anything other than clarify my position of I think this shit's gay completely. Dick started it. I mean, Dick responded to Nina, but yeah, Dick started it, and that you eventually engaged. I think your fans engaged at the beginning and stirred shit up. And I do think that even though I don't think it's the cool thing to do, that not feeding the trolls would end this, but I'm not telling you to do that because you have a business model that involves monetizing your haters, making fun of them, showing them out to be fools, which they often are. I've laughed at plenty of those. I still laugh at it. Riley's a fat fucking retard and a stupid idiot for showing up at your business. If he did that to me, I would tell him he's a dumb motherfucker.
Okay.
So the reason I've never messaged you, and I say this publicly, is because you didn't want to talk about the lawsuit. I didn't want to accidentally drag you into that conversation. You could reach out. You did today, which is awesome. Is there anything else you want to say? I don't want to sit here and belabor this. I got no bad blood with you, man. I hated hearing that you thought that like I was being dishonest or disingenuous in any way, because I've never been. And if I had a problem, I would fucking tell you, but I don't have a problem with you. I want you to make all the money on earth.
And I appreciate that. You know?
All right, man. Anything else you want to say?
No, I'm good. I'm glad we had a conversation.
Me too, man.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Go back ISOM.
Thank you.
Use promo code PULL UP. Get that book for $5.
Yeah, use promo code PULL UP, and you get the book for $5. You got 48 hours that you can get the book for $5. Check it out. Use the coupon code. Pull up.
Well, there you go. Thanks a lot for coming on, brother.
All right, man. Be easy.
Peace. Well, there we go. That just takes up the whole drama topic. So the really cheesy and shitty thing that I should do, because it's the internet, would be to now make a bunch of commentary about that and skew it towards my side. I'm going to let the words speak for themselves. I think that's the appropriate thing to do. You can watch it. It'll be here on YouTube, the full 2 hours of that forever. I'm not going to do the Rumble flip tonight, and I'm actually going to cancel the rest of the subjects. I am going to go through the super chats, and I'm going to talk about why. I was going to address this drama in a very, very different way, with video clips, with my impressions of those video clips, with commentary. All that's got to be scrapped now because we've had it out face to face. We've expressed our positions, clarified everything. I'm not going to go back and do that shit. The next bit that I was going to do today after the Rumble flip was a very specific reading of Unbreaded, which I announced yesterday before this fucking drama came out. All right. If I do it now, it will seem racist and horrible instead of funny. And it's not supposed to be that. I don't want any fucking weird misinterpretations or misunderstandings. I'm really sorry about that, because that was my plan today, was to go through like 5 straight pages that were all thematic through the Unbreaded, just for fun, because people have been asking for it. But I'm not going to give any fucking shred of idea that has something to do with today. It does not. I will push that segment to tomorrow after the Rumble flip. All right. Again, Eric coming on was not in the cards. Had no idea that would happen. I think it's a great switch up for the show, but I'm not going to leave any sort of weird bullshit lingering out there that someone can misinterpret. All right. So as an executive decision, I'm going to fucking do that. Because again, I don't like drama as much as people accuse me of this shit all the time. It is maddening. The last part of the show, I'm not going to do the Rumble flip because that would require an hour, and I don't think the next part's gonna be an hour. We're gonna do a brief but not like full read through update on where my lawsuit is. There's an update, and we'll either push that to tomorrow or maybe Monday. And guys, this is not an urgent thing. It doesn't matter. It's not even exciting or interesting. So I don't want to oversell it. And I don't want to sit here and belabor that. We're going to do, we'll do the super chats and Rumble rants. Thank you for being so fucking patient on those. So many have come in. It's been wonderful to see people participating in the show, but I really wanted to have a clean conversation on that. I'm going to address all of them, but we're not going to revisit topics in any substantial way, or I'm going to try not to. I mean, I'm not perfect, but I'm going to make the effort to not revisit any of the topics we discussed. Again, I want the words to stand for themselves. And then I will do the brief update on my lawsuit. Then we'll close that out. We'll go to locals, and I'll sit there and cry into a bowl of oatmeal. So that's what's coming up. If you don't want to watch any of that, thanks for watching. Peace. To all the stream snipers. Ethan, fuck you, Van Skyver. Just kidding, guys. Cecil's book. I want to mention Cecil's book, Cash Grab, is relaunching. And that's what Ethan Van Skyver and Cecil were talking about today. It relaunched today. So if you like Cecil because you're a broken individual, make sure you go check that out. Also, if you didn't see it, I tweeted yesterday that you can join my locals for free with there's a hashtag support free speech. Tweet out there from me, and that's got a promo code for a free month to my locals, full access to all of the content that's on there, all of the exclusive live streams and all that shit are there, and you can check it out, see if it's a comfy place for your ball sack. With that, let's go ahead and hit these chats. There's some really big ones on YouTube and Rumble here that I'm going to hit first. Then we'll hit the 20s, and then we'll go through them as normal. Again, thank you for your patience and for supporting the show. Matthew Self says, local is publicly accessible, ? The location happens to be a nominated Pokestop on the mobile game Pokemon Go. So it is a place people can access, and you're just upset that a Pokemon Go player decided to hate on you and make posts. Does that change your thought process? Okay, so these are questions, not accusations, to be very clear from Matthew Self. Again, I think we got into the sort of nitty gritty of the access to the building, and that was clarified because, you know, pictures aren't always up to date and all that shit. Matt himself says, Eric is wanting to strong arm you into being in his corner. Fuck him. He wants value from you, but can't understand that you may have value to others. Dude is dumb. Fuck you, Eric. All respect lost. Well, that's a little harsh. I don't know that he was trying to do that. People will draw their own opinions. I'm going to give credit where credit's due. I think Eric came on here in good faith to hash out something. And I think he had some opinions of me or my behavior that were misunderstood. And hopefully they got clarified for him. But I'm not going to say he's trying to strong arm me or do anything like that. Again, the conversation can rest on its own. Raf L707 sent a big super chat, but the message was retracted. I don't know if that was by you or by CuckTube, but thank you so much for that. Now getting into the next chats, we've got we did the Ooze Cucumber Balls one earlier. ASE presents. Oh Christ. He says, I was there for 8 hours between both days, so stop lying about me only being there at night. If you just apologize for flagging me, I can still try to call off Frank Hassel. Your move, young Clippa / Clippa Riley. And then he has some more here. He says, by the way, I drew a bunny emoji on each bill for the record. That is all, young Clippa. And he also says, the only gate I've entered is Comics Gate, bro, young Clippa. And then he says, I put Clippaverse sticker on my secret red Prius. You better stop calling it gay or I'll sue. And then he said, I'm a libertine sociopath as well. I think that's the summation of his chats. Riley, you're a fat, dumb retard. Try not to get shot, please. Cman2PT0 says, Eric can't hear smoke alarm chirp. Zeta Quinzel says, welcome to paralegal status. John Cook says, Nick, you've never pressed your partner into the nitty gritty, and it really shows. Oh my God. Catherine Williams says, is Eric issue his liability as the employer? The weirdo isn't stable and employees are at risk. He has a duty to provide a safe workplace. Won't he be liable if something violent occurred, harms innocent people? From what I've heard about the security of the place, no. If a fucking lunatic comes into your business and does something, again, there's a lot of ifs and hypotheticals in all of this talk. But if they do that, that's on them, not on the employer, unless the employer actively creates a situation in which harm could reasonably, foreseeably occur, and then recklessly disregards the harm that they create. That's how liability is typically generated and stuff like this. Talk with Sally says, take my sign and you will be objective. Duh. Argo Rash says, Eric, why did the charity kids have to pay $17 per book when you can now afford to sell the same book for $5 per copy? Marion Holtzman says, wow, this is painful. I agree. The Iceman 101418 says, Nick, I'm with you. I see what you're saying, but on the costing, I think Eric has specified what he meant well. Eric, people will 100% be idiots and fully believe lies. People still legit think Nick is a swinger. Yes. All of that is true. And again, for the record, never stated otherwise. I have never seen anything at all suggesting fraud. I have seen problematic explanations, which we talked about here on the show, that I think could have been better worded. And yeah, that's that. Marion Holtzman, Eric, you are trying to get Nick to state what someone's motivation in your situation is. He does not know the motivation. Stop trying to elicit an answer you want to hear. Max B says, Rippa is thief. What do we got here? Richard Boslin says, you need a double shot after that drama. I got a double shot of drama right in this fucking mouth. Jason of TGA has several in a row here. He says, the doublespeak game in full effect, everyone. If this is all the communist clowns have, then this pitiful display represents all of us winning so much we might beg to stop winning. He also says, like getting all the cute people canceled off the internet for believing that there is child trafficking going on. Eric, you're a sick man. He also says, I so hope this useful idiot sticks around for the super chats. He says, I question this man's, sorry if I misgendered, calculations. And he says, classic communist misinterpretation of what capitalism is. Ask whatever number you think people will pay. It's not difficult, just evil and sick. He also says they chose 17 because non-patriots use 17 because of the letter of the alphabet that communists don't know. And Jason of TJ also says SYOP. Stop gassing dogs, Nick. I will never stop gassing dogs. Ricada Law. Look, I asked that in the hypothetical. Ricada Law fully endorses and commences in the systematic gassing of all dogs. And that's because we hired as our chairman and CEO, Count Dankula's dog, Buddha. The chairman and CEO, Buddha, has instructed us on specific dog breeds to gas. James Gardner says, I'm going to ruin your business. Keep it up, buddy. It's fun. Occupant 42 says, I've spent several hours pulling 2 of my last 3 hairs, dealing with idiots on the YouTube. I'm going to throw some money to make me feel better. You have nothing to do with it. It's all about me. Well, thank you. I'll take your money. And Jason of TGA says, you earned it this time, Nick. More patience than that stone fake dragon in Neverending Story. Oh, shit. There we go. Now we're going to get into the rest of the chats. Thank you. We've got Joshua says, yo, Rackets, can you try to get on open bar soon? Well, I had an answer for this earlier, and I'll maintain it. I love going on open bar anytime. Great dudes. But with the drama, I don't know if they have any idea or if they have any notion to bring me on. And I don't want to push that on anyone because I know like I'm mutual friends with a lot of people here, and there's been some weird shit going back and forth. I don't want to press on anybody. I don't want to make anybody feel weird about having me on their show. Tyler Reeves says, love you, Nick. Been 34 months. Wow. Hey, thank you. Chris Tony says, you're late, Nick. I hate eating my pizza before the show begins, but it's getting cold. Same with playing on my phone in the bathroom. Must start the game right as I start pooping. Salt, hey, Nick, why do you say you don't like drama, but you're always drawn into it? Oh, you answered it. Lamau, take the $5. Scorpio says, let Eric in. Absolutely. Glad to have him. C. Goody says, Rippa is delusional fucktard who doesn't even know what neutrality is. He talks as if he took Dick's side. Dude is insane. Arclight Redux says, C. Goody, you mad bro. John Riff says, what Riley did is textbook tortoise interference, legal to execute with extreme prejudice in Texas. Deadweight Nero says, Pippa references equals Pippa once on. I think the pink rabbit once on, chat. Things are going to get a little devious. Magnum Norse. Alex Stein is a wild card, but Dick Masterson disrespected Rippa. Not trying to start shit, just looking for clarity. I have no idea. Matt himself says, I love how Nick always makes excuses for being late. You sound like my helpers. I run off. Just accept the fact you suck at being on time. We can all accept and be okay with it, lol. No, I do. I fully embrace my inability to be on time. I'm just telling you why I'm not on time each day. Like that's not like not asking you to forgive me. I'm just letting you know because we're friends. We're friends and we make conversation. Matt himself says, Rippa also has small shoulder. Hans One Pack says, good fences make for good neighbors. Nick's partner, not sure Dick is Nick's partner. Hans One Pack says, as libertarian, why does Nick need to get in the middle with Eric and Dick? He says, if Eric wants this to end, maybe he needs to talk with Dick. Kato the Swiss says, Eric, you're going to cover for your boys when they misstep. You're not big enough to demand allegiance. Jason of TGA says, just got here. Wow, Drex really let himself go. Let's see. We've got Zeta Quinzel sent Bunny Battalion. Alice Martinez says, unbreaded reading tonight, please. Michael Winning says, how do you try and out-lawyer a damn lawyer? People do it. It's fine. Bad Dragon Knight. If the VTuber crowd cancels you and you get spare time, check out Kingdom Come Deliverance, crowdfunded RPG in the 1400s Europe. Feels like a Daggerfall successor. Reading and drinking are dedicated skill trees. I think I have that game. Lemon Trashy says the IQ gap is really showing here. Stephen Tuffle says Dick was saying he posted his own address accidentally by falsely DMCAing people. Is that not true? Well, I don't know how people got the address to the Rippaverse. I'll suggest it's not entirely private, but again, it's not. I don't want to put anything on blast. Mahalo Man says, Eric is like my ex-wife, argues in riddles and don't even understand their own riddle. Kato Swiss says, Eric, you ain't slick trying to catch Nick in anything. Stop it. Doom on U232 says, is it me or is Rumble shooting themselves in the foot, needing 5 subs or a paywall contribution to start live streaming? Or am I missing something? Get some Eric July. Kiernath says, does anyone find it funny the only headaches in all this drama and messing things up are both leftists that we almost all dislike, Vito and Dick, just observing. Mahalo Man says, this is like staged rap battle for subs and views. 2 cucks, 1 cup. That was funny. God damn it. Tech Crisis says, why am I watching this train crash? I don't even care about this drama. Bro. Michael Winning says the 1750 IQ is showing. C. Goody says he's literally looking for an excuse to shoot Riley for stepping on his publicly accessible property. Rippa is fucking delusional. John Riffs, Riley's threat was that he would shave Eric's weirdly hairy shoulders. Zeta Quinzel says, my hair. C. Goody says he has his mind made up. You did him wrong by not blindly supporting his side. You'll never convince him otherwise. Alex says, this is the fastest I've ever heard Eric speak. Uriah of the House Right says, all of this because Nina showed ISOM #1. Kyan Rennell says, Rippa bites, aka Young Karen 59. You should fix it, Nick. C. Goody says, Young Rippa, you sound like a woman right now. A serious man says, I feel guilty super chatting EVS and not you. Don't ever feel guilty about that. I love that, man. Lorgar Apologist says, Nick, you are totally disingenuous. You suck up to Masterson and Vito for no reason. Ooh, I think you need to check the record on Vito there. And I don't know that I've sucked up to Masterson, but I can see people's perspective on that. Try to hand wave Vito's self-confession and Gunt Guard. Great job. Okay. I've probably called Vito a pedophile more than you. I've done it to his face. Lorgar, C. Goody says he 100% said you're not objective and he's delusional fucktard for it. He's either a disingenuous liar or legitimately has early onset dementia. John Riff says, yo, partner, be hurting my feelings and shit. Nick Ricado's receding hairline says, great acting with Eric to get super chat money tonight. Fucking nailed it. Arclight Redux says, always be sweeping for your partner. American Legend, message redacted. Nick Ricado's receding hairline again says, what an articulate, well-spoken, clean-cut guest. That you fucking asshole. That was asshole-ish. God damn. We've got Koov says, thank you all for not killing yourselves. Very important, by the way. Please stay alive. That goes for you, Riley. Colonel J says, Eric giving me big Mad Black Atheist vibes. Whoops. Rockahora says, Eric is jumping to too many conclusions with insufficient evidence. Like, bro, ascribing intention is one of the biggest gripes people have against the wokesters. What he knows isn't what's provable. Mahalo Man says, ask Eric to read Unbreaded now. That would be kind of funny. I wonder if he would. Matt Walsh's Nick Ricado's Bull says, Ayo, Dazio Padna, why you not being objective? Jacob McQuaid says, speech is not violence, Eric. Dirk Kronbacker says, Eric is dodging accountability like a white woman. First true racial transgender confirmed. Laserbeam Hawkins says, love you both. For certain someone, Dick and or Vito, or a fan of one and or the other, attacked Eric. Eric, best wishes. Nick, brother, you try. Much respect and love to you and your family. And you. Thank you very much. Alice Martinez says, stop arguing. Just get security for your work site. American Legend, message retracted. Alice Martinez says, drink up, Nick. Looks like a hard stream. Nah, it wasn't so bad. I hate tension like that, but the conversation wasn't, particularly challenging. It gets frustrating. And this is why I hate tension. I try to speak candidly all the time, to my own dismay and loss of favor many times. But hey, I just try to be candid about who I am, what I think, what I believe, what I feel, all that shit. And when you get into a place where people are defensive, it's hard to be candid because when you're candid, they don't necessarily believe you, or they may think that you're thinking, one thing and not that you're wrong. Like any number of things can happen. I hate that because I try to be as candid as possible. I think Eric was very candid today. I like that. But I hate when people perceive that out of me because it's like, let me word that differently. I definitely know how to manipulate people. I'm a lawyer. And even shitty lawyers know how to manipulate people. But that being said, I try to just be honest because it's fucking easier. American Legend, values change in time. An agreement was made prior. Bad Dragonite says, don't let any of this distract us from the important fact that ISOM is kind of bad, though. In parentheses, I haven't actually read it. Elephant says, Eric, Nick is trying to save your ass from lawsuits. Stop talking about it. This can be used against you in court. Sigurdi says he's hanging himself and doesn't understand how. Tara Rayner says, actually, he said he charged less. Almond John 1 says, mommy, daddy, please don't fight. Wet Bandit says cost to produce book is $17.50. Average sale of $13.50 to the purchasers means he actually lost $4. He didn't pocket $4. He raised $4 less. Lizard King says, lol, I never thought I would see Eric become Boogie twice. Again, I'm not going to comment back on that. I don't want anything. I didn't even want to have that conversation. Mahalo Man says, damn, should have asked Eric to do Unbreaded. Most Band Queen says, since we both know there will be a next time, have Joe mediate the conversation between you. I'm also available to keep it from divulging into what did, but no would possibly be better. No, I don't like mediators. Mediators they'll end up taking a side even if they're not trying to. They chime in. They're all just ugly, smelly people. Speaking of someone who's been a mediator plenty of times. Mahalo Man says, you forgot to ask him balls or no balls. Oh, shit. Ikagu says, love your integrity, Nick. It's a shame you're gay. Is it a shame? Or is it an invitation? Jason of TGA says, everyone loves Dick. He also says, thinking for yourself makes you a target for these weirdos. We are ready. Most Band Queen says, typos. Joe Logic would be better at keeping the convo from divulging. Ragahora says, wouldn't Marvel and DC be justified accusing Eric of trying to fuck with their business? Like, I don't disagree. Dick's got it out for him, but they've been fighting for ages now, so it seems dumb. I don't want to do the 2-K shit. Like, 2-K is the you also fallacy. I don't want to do that. That's a card that can be played on a lot of people, and it doesn't make one side right or wrong. It's just pointing out a hypocrisy, but hypocrisies don't make the underlying issue correct. Affected says, both Eric and Dick are brain damaged. Was going to say this dude needs a new lawyer to explain trespass. Seems like he just needs a new lawyer, period. Sleep is the cousin of death says, Nick, have fun defending pedos and cutie supporters. He also says, backtracking pedo supporter, enjoy $4 last ever. Bye. See ya. Adios. Thanks for announcing it. Matthew Trenbolone Sandwich says, get uncivil or Bronca. I'm sure it can't go wrong. Wrestler Town says, two good people fighting because one bad person wanted clicks. Let's see. Suto CSSR says, Eric, how would you have felt yesterday evening if you hadn't eaten breakfast or lunch? Akikama says, is Eric trying to ruin the business of Marvel? Arclight Redux says, Duncan said he didn't attack your channel. There you go. Hawk D Anarchy, some German shit, I guess. This entire drama is honestly just cringe, to be fucking honest. Dick's kind of just being a grima worm tongue like figure with veto, in my opinion. Lol. Max Beast sent me $17.50. He says, send the money to charity. Nick, rip as a Karen and a thief. The Iceman 10-14-18 says, Nick, Eric assumes you're protecting your buddy and running interference for him. Eric refuses to believe Dick could full-heartedly believe a lie. Yeah, I think that was obvious. Jarvo sent a sticker. Thank you. Iceman says, Nick, you got the win. Eric sees you as objective. Look, that's all I wanted. That's all I wanted from the start. Like, I don't know, man. When people accuse me of bad faith, I assume it's a misunderstanding. Unless it's someone who actually like actively hates me. Eric's never expressed that. So Guy Vermectin says, Nick is a spiraling alcoholic and his friends refuse to tell him the truth. How do you know? Samurai says, Nick, your friend is a fangirl and not worth your friendship. Eric is. Nick Brown says, this is why combos are important. As arduous as this was to watch, you ultimately came to an agreement on objectivity and understanding each other's positions. I hope so. Reform Comics says, hang in there. It sucks to be caught in the middle. Here I am, stuck in the middle with Eric to the left of me, Dick to the right. LP Dirty T says, biggest problem in the universe, watching a man drown himself. Voted up. Zeta Quinsel says, much love. Elephant says, Nick licks those bottles like a gay. Eric the Red says, that was fun. I spit out my water when you ask Eric if he's afraid if someone is going to shave him. Tech Crisis says, here's another 5 for the mouth. Mouth Derg, best part of the show tonight. What? The mouth Derg? What's the mouth Derg? Oh, yes, the taps. Fake name says, soothe your fear of Unbreaded mixing with Eric by you having him on tomorrow to read along. Want nature to heal. Also have Dick read along, kicking them both out once it's over. Chat 1 equals yes. That would be funny. I don't know if it's going to happen. The Nerdist says, Nick, at one point, it seemed like he was trying to come to your place of work and convince your audience that your credibility is in question. See, that's where it gets so fucking weird, man. Like, the Pants Maestro says, literal fucking fraud. Damn, this is some harsh black on black violence. Charlie, no one is stuck in the middle with Vito. Vito doesn't fit in the middle. Bobby says, I've been here for a year. Here's to many more. Cheers, Bobby. Thank you. Juan Riavka says, come. Matt himself, oh my God, we will see the demise of the relationship of Ricada and Eric July because Eric thinks he can come on and say things that he wants to say. He also says, Eric is fucking up by coming on your show, dude. He thinks he can argue his reasoning. You are neutral and have and will call him on his misunderstanding of the law. He's out of place and should have left this to his lawyers. Drama Dog says, Nick, I got 2 things for you. First, I need an absolutely brutal fat shaming to keep me motivated. I just hit the 220s at 6'3". Second, I would like some words of wisdom. I'm about to get married on the 13th. Been dating for 7 years now. How do you date that long? Jesus Christ. And I'm really excited to tie the knot. Just kind of scared on how to navigate on the having children front. We want to have them a little later into our marriage, but when it's too late, we're both 29. Thanks in advance. Okay. First thing, brutal fat shaming. You look like Vito. I'd say to hang yourself, but you can't afford the amount of graphene required to make the news. All right, here we go. The as for the kids question, dude, you've been dating for 7 years. You're both 29. You want to keep waiting. I got it. How long do you want to wait? That's the, and why? Like, those are the answers. You don't have to tell me why. Like, there's no wisdom there. Why do you want to wait and how long? How late is too late? How many kids do you want to have? There's all sorts of weird like statistics about the increased possibility of autism or complications and stuff like that. When a woman is past 35, there is actually an age where men tend to have increased statistical chances of the same thing. I think it's a little later and the increase isn't as big, but they're both there. The reality is all of that is still a very small chance, even with the increase. So as long as people can have kids, you can have kids. But that's not the question. Like, those aren't the real questions. The questions are, why are you waiting? What thing is it you want to do? What motivates you to not do it now after 7 years of dating and now getting married? Are there like travel things you want to do? You want to not have a job and you want to backpack across Europe and have sex with Belgians or whatever? I don't know what it is that you're after, but you have to resolve why you're waiting in the first place. You have to resolve whether waiting now is worth pushing into your later years. How many kids do you want to have? Is it 1? Is it 2? Is it 5? Like, the more it is, the sooner you got to start. With that said, dude, you're 29. You're still in the clear. You can pretty safely have kids well into your 30s. I don't know, man. If you're going to have 1, you can wait a couple years. If you're going to have 2, waiting a couple years starts to get long. Are you going to have them every year? Are you going to have them every 2 years, every 3? You got to figure that out too. Pregnancy's hard on both of you. Physically, it's really hard on her. Emotionally, it'll be hard on her, and emotionally and like stress-wise, it's going to be very tough on you and your work and stuff like that. So get it out of the way. Just put babies in our lad. Incoherent Turd says, much love for the show. I think the important takeaway tonight is Vito is a fat. I agree. Okay. Here we go. Let's talk about the update in my lawsuit really quickly. We'll wrap up the show a little bit early tonight after all of that nonsense. Oh, a 6'4" midget says, good news, everyone. This is gay, just like Nick's asshole. Does a gay... Wait a minute. Let's lawyer this out. I think the implication would be that a gay asshole would want a penis in it. But I don't think that's true from the asshole or the penis's perspective. I think a gay asshole would want an asshole in the asshole. That's what I think, right? Put your ass in my asshole would be that's what a gay asshole would want. I don't make the rules. I just think that's the reality there. So, yes. I think that's true. My asshole is gay. All right. Drew Mo says, please check out my self-defense case on my Rumble, Nick. Gibson go Drewmo, DREWMOW, has all the info of the attacker's criminal history and all the assaults he got away with before attacking me. Crazy, man. And then Ellie Fan says, why are you gay? Why are you gay? Look, I'm on the right track, baby. I was born this way. Okay. Let's talk about my lawsuit. The Montegraph lawsuit, the greatest disappointment of all time. It has an update. We have appealed. We have filed what's called an interlocutory appeal, or a petition for an interlocutory appeal of the case following the rejection of our special motion for summary judgment under Colorado law. The ruling that came out of that special motion was from the judge saying Colorado law did not apply. Therefore, they would apply Minnesota's rules to summary judgment. And the judge determined that summary judgment would not be proper at this time, could be filed for later, but there was evidence needed to be collected on discovery still. Now, interestingly, of course, the discovery aspect of that, the only fact in dispute that would be resolved during discovery is Monty's damages, which he's responsible for and are irrelevant to our defense, that there is no actionable claim here and it should be decided in my favor. So I don't know why we need to wait for Montegraph's damage. He should have pled them already. He should have pled them at this point and has not. He doesn't need discovery to achieve that. We don't need discovery at all, for any of the facts at issue for summary judgment. Now, if this goes past that, we would need discovery of other things. Like if we're going to go to trial, we need to know a whole lot more fucking information that, we might need to depose people and all of that stuff. So discovery would apply there. The goal, of course, of the special motion for summary judgment under Colorado law would be to avoid discovery because it's costly. And the whole purpose of a SLAPP lawsuit is to cost people money to defend themselves against something that's utterly frivolous, which this is. So the problem, though, is when you get a negative ruling, you cannot just appeal it in the middle of the case unless it is something that qualifies for an interlocutory appeal. So in this case, it qualifies. The argument would be that it qualifies for interlocutory appeal because the entire purpose of the Colorado anti-SLAPP statute and applying Colorado law would be to provide immunity from the lawsuit, total immunity from the discovery phase and all of that. Without getting that, you go through the point or you go through the rest of the lawsuit and avoid the point of having that immunity. So it's critical now to determine if that issue was correctly decided by the judge. Of course, we take issue with the judge's ruling politely and respectfully, suggesting that it was not fully correct. And we ask the appeals court to rule on it. It's a novel issue. It's not like something that's dealt with all the time. I think it's the first time in Minnesota that it's been dealt with. At least there's not really any appellate jurisdiction on it. So, or appellate jurisprudence, I should say, on it. So we would ask the appeals court to rule on that, and we can get a finalized answer on it. That needs to be done at an interlocutory level to provide the outcome that application would be if application is provided. So we need the court to understand first that it is necessary to resolve now, and then subsequent to that, once they accept jurisdiction, if they do, we would then appeal on the specific points of error that we would have with the actual thing. So what has happened now is simply we have filed our request for an appeal, and the court has asked for memoranda explaining why the interlocutory appeal is either appropriate or inappropriate at this stage. They will, of course, be arguing that it's not appropriate and that the Court of Appeals doesn't have jurisdiction. We have argued that it is appropriate, and I think our memoranda is fairly good from what I've seen. I'm not going to read it tonight, but it basically lays out the test. It's a 3-part test, but it comes to the conclusion of this is necessary to resolve now, does not have to do with the merits of the case at all, and then it should be done by the court. Like that's it. That's the ultimate argument. It's not really interesting or exciting. It's very heavy legalese, and it just has to do with how federal law and state courts have applied this type of question in other anti-SLAPP cases. So that's the gist of the update. It's not crazy detailed. Again, I don't want to spend hours and hours on it. When the actual appeal comes through, if we win at this at the request for an interlocutory appeal, of course, then we'd go through all of the points of appeal and the legal arguments and the back and forth. And when their side comes out with why it's not interlocutory, maybe we'll pull them up and do a side-by-side comparison of the arguments. That could be interesting. But for now, I wanted to give that update. People had asked me about the updates prior to this, because I think this was filed a couple days ago, but I just hadn't seen it because it was in my email inbox, but I didn't look. So I've been busy. There you go. That's it. It's not exciting. It's just a step update of what was going on. So there we go. I don't know what else to say. With that, Jason of TGA says they need more evidence on Monty because his videos of him boning watermelons are fascinating. And Winky Wanky Woo says the Ripper is a near. Oh, come on. And then M. Hamma says, bro, the free legal advice you were giving is just as important as don't talk to the police. He needs to get new counsel. Funds in for donations. Best match exact value delivered. Yeah. Bobby says, Ricada Law, would it be fair to say that Monograph is trying to ruin your business? No, I don't think so. Monograph's just suing me. I don't think his lawsuit has merit. I think it's frivolous. I think he knows that, and I think his purpose is to cost me money. Don't get me wrong. But he's going through a legal procedure that doesn't have anything to do with my business. He wants to cost me money. Like, that's not ruining my business. It's just being a fucking asshole. But hey, people get to be fucking assholes. That's just the way it works. And maybe I have a different opinion on that than other people, but I think if we get into this dangerous spot of just saying anyone being critical, and this is, to be clear, I don't think this is Eric's position. I don't want to represent it as his. But there's a wish to say anyone saying anything negative against someone we like is trying to ruin their business. I don't think that's actually the case. And Monty hasn't asked for my channel to be deleted as far as I'm aware, like not from the court. Maybe he's tried to do that somewhere else. I don't know. But like a lawsuit, even if I were to lose and pay money, isn't trying to ruin my business. It's just trying to make value, extract money. You try and get a business canceled. That's a little different. Now, to be fair, he did claim responsibility for my YouTube channel being shut down, but I think that was just him being, a bloviating idiot. So that's that. All right, guys. Zeno, welcome to Paralegal Status. And Miriam Holtzman says, on a lighter note, who wrote your P song and who sings it? Been meaning to ask. It's a guy named My Room Records, the same guy that wrote my outro, wrote the P song. Wildly talented guy, super cool, very, very kind. And check him out on SoundCloud. He's phenomenally talented. Baldo Gagger says, I thought Eric was smart. Turns out not so much. I think his biggest problem is that he was talking past you and not listening, and he is dumb AF. Well, I said the chat will speak for itself, or the discussion we had will speak for itself, and everyone can draw their own conclusions. With that, guys, I think we're going to wrap up the show tonight. Like I said, I will be doing a local stream in just a few minutes, hanging out maybe it'll be time for one of the late season cigars before it starts to get cold or something like that. It's been a minute since I've had one. Not quite sure. But remember, you can access my exclusive Locals streams for free for this month by going to my Twitter, following the tweet I made during the show yesterday, and getting a free month on Locals with a promo code. Very simple to do. So come join in the fun. Come join in the chat. Call me gay and all that stuff. And I will swear at you personally. Mandy says, let's share case updates. My therapist told me this morning that I have to only do one more week and get another MRI and I'm done. Opposing insurance company is giving me the runaround instead of paying me. So I get to get a hold of my lawyer tomorrow. Best wishes. Well, best wishes to you, Mandy. Most importantly on your recovery, but certainly on your legal case as well. All right, guys. C. Goody is sharing that tweet in the chat on YouTube right now. To the YouTube and Rumble audience, thank you guys for hanging around. Again, sorry for not doing the Rumble flip tonight, but after doing 2 full hours in the bulk of the show on YouTube, I didn't want to like flip it to Rumble and like do a tepid half-assed Rumble segment. Tomorrow we'll have the normal Rumble flip, and the bulk of the show will be after that. So we'll get some of these the Unbreaded thing done tomorrow on a Friday, which is probably more appropriate anyway. Maybe we'll have a guest or two. We'll see. Until then, guys, thanks for watching the shitstorm. It was gloriously disastrous, as they always are. Rockahora says, bravo on direct with a hostile witness. That presumed bad faith, it seemed to be persuasive and effective. It's not advisable to enter lawyer's den if you can't differentiate between evidence and assumptions. There we go. We'll see you guys then. Have a good night. Peace. Peace.
Oh, he drinks a fair bit, but you realize that it just helps get his noggin jogging along. With his glass by his side and his kids asleep tight, we'll hear some lost-plaining tonight. With his microphone muted, we'll laugh at this boomer until he explains it's all part of the plan. Watch his face become redder as he becomes meta, raging at idiots from Twitterland. From the white shores of Maine to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we have now. Oh, his lady is fair, and she handles herself with the grace of one who has borne many children. As the wife of a lawman, she makes sure that he has the time and the place to provide for them there. So pour out an Ardbeg, a Balmore, a Lafroig. The spirits flow as the ones who get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the tea post on Twitter as we hear lost-plaining tonight. From the white shores of Nairn to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we have now. Oh, the guests are all planet folks, from Doug T to Drexel. They bring their perspective and spice to the mix. But the reason we're here and the one that we cheer is the one who is showcasing us his career. Get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the tea post on Twitter as we hear lost-plaining tonight. From the white shores of Nairn to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we have now.